I'm here this morning witnessing a milestone for St. Jude's. This is a new hospital. This is a hospital that's going to take the South for the next 50, 60 years. And that's the ambition that we have for the South. And today we're witnessing putting up of the panels, which is a new technology to adapt to climate change, resistant and more efficiency with our air conditioning system. So I'm so proud for the people in the South to have this world-class hospital here that will be delivered very soon. Let's keep working.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it. Because for a rainy day, a lot of people don't want to get out of bed. In fact, a lot of people aren't gonna get out of bed today. They're just gonna roll over on the other side and say, to hell with it. But don't blame me for anything. Are you gonna go out and get the car ready or warm it up, or are you gonna get up and make breakfast for everybody heading out? Are you gonna start making the coffee? Are you gonna start making the tea? What, you making bakes this morning? There you go. Good morning. Hi. Might as well jump into the weather because it's the thing that's on everybody's mind right now. Right now, in Castries, it's 84 degrees. It's raining. It's completely overcast today. And in fact, it looks like by mid-morning, the chance of rain is all the way up to 83%. And just to let you know, it's going to be raining all day until the early hours of tomorrow morning, about 3 o'clock, when the rain's going to take a little break. So, your umbrella, your waterproof, your Wellingtons, your rubber boots, whatever you want, galoshes, whatever, your raincoat. When last did you see a raincoat, folks? I don't know, do they still sell raincoats? So if you're going out today, folks, it's going to be raining all day. Might as well put that in your mind. It's going to be raining all day today. 79 degrees in Castries right now, not 84, 79, going up to a high of 84. Yeah? Going up to a high of 84 degrees. Good morning to you in the north, Crozele and Cap Estate and Casabah and everywhere else. Marisil. Yeah. Where else? Am I missing anywhere up north? Are there more places that I should be aware of? I don't know. You tell me. Give me a call early in the morning. 456-0931. 456-0931. And tell me what the weather is like in your neck of the woods. You know, wherever you live in. That's the neck of the woods. Your neck of... Do the woods ever have any neck? So I guess if the woods has a neck, then it has a foot and an arm and a head. In your head of the woods, in your arm of the woods. I don't know. Don't forget your umbrellas today. Don't forget your umbrella. Yeah. 4560931 is the number in the studio, and our WhatsApp number is 485-0931. 485-0931. And good morning to all the minibus drivers who are getting everyone up to the city or down to the south or wherever you're going in St. Lucia on the highways and byways. On a rainy day like today, somebody said to me they travel every day on the minibus, and almost all of them that they've been on so far lately are all tuned to Sky FM in the morning, 6 to 8. And somebody said to me yesterday, one of them, I will not mention who, in fact I don't even remember who, but said to me, one of those minibus drivers is a mama labor. That just tickled me. And it just shows you folks, it just proves that you don't have to be vexed if somebody has a different opinion, because you can share the same opinion even if you support one side. You can say, that makes sense. Or make yourself available, make yourself open to the facts, to the issues that are important to people. And that's right here on Keeping It Real and Sky FM. Yeah. Yeah. At what time? I guess I'll decide the time. 22 minutes after 6 in the morning. Good morning to you in Vieux-Fort and Labrie, Choiseul, Soufrière. Is it raining down there already? I'm almost certain that it already is. Good morning to you in Canaries and Ancillary, Keeping It Real Town, Market Street. Good morning to you. Good morning to Miku, and good morning to Miku and Denry and Richford and Oleon, all the way up Bexo and Castries and Millet and Marigot and Entrepot and DF4 and DF1 and Capitol Hill and Independent City. Entrepot. Hey, did I say that already? Yeah. Bocage and Cedars and Waterworks Road and Sunbuilt, Leslie Land and Lastic Hill, Chaussee Road, Tupatu. Good morning, Georgeville, La Panse, Mont de Don. Good morning, Chase Gardens and Carolee. And what's that place the guy called me up the other day and said, you don't shout us out? Rose Hill. Good morning to Rose Hill. Yeah, you're feeling big now. You're on top of everybody today. Rose Hill. Good morning to Rose Hill. Rose Hill and Georgeville. Did I say Georgeville? Yeah, Georgeville, La Panse. How many of you know where Georgeville is? And how many of you know where Piat's Gap is? Piat's Gap. I want somebody to call me and tell me where Piat's Gap is. Where shall we begin today? With the news. Yeah. With the news. And in the news, well, look here now. And St. Lucia Times is reporting that re-employment figures in tourism climb as the industry rebounds. Wow. In COVID, St. Lucia has experienced what Tourism Minister Dominic Fede says has been a strong rebound in our tourism industry, with the island almost at the 10,000 job mark after losing some 15,000 jobs as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. 66% people back to work in the tourism industry. 15,000 people lost their jobs or were out of work because of COVID, the shutdown and everything. And now there's been a rebound to 66%, which means 10,000 people are back at work. Isn't that, you know what, folks? Say what you want. There are some people who are very happy to be going to work today after not working for a year. Taxi drivers who are very happy. Lots of other people who benefited from those jobs, very happy today. Wouldn't you think so? Are you? That's what I want to know this morning. Are you one of these 10,000 people who are back at work? Give me a call. 456-0931. That's what I want to know. And we have a call coming in already. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, from a rainy Leclerc.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that rhymed a little bit there. Rainy Leclerc.
Yes. Do you know that a chain is as strong as its weakest link?
Yeah, we've heard that.
In our society, in our community, organizations are like chains, and the individuals who play the role are like links of a chain. As the quality of each link determines the strength of the chain, so too the quality within each person determines the success of the system. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a great rainy day. It's my kind of day. Do you like rainy days, folks? Call me and tell me. I'm looking out the Sky FM window, looking across the hills there, and it's dark clouds. I think it's going to be like that for the rest of the day, so get yourself together. No flippity floppities. You're going to have some, you know what they say, some close-up shoes. Wear your boots. Whether you're waterproofs, wear your waterproofs, whatever. Something that's not going to let your feet get wet. And of course, if it's raining, you expect that you got to walk through a little bit of water somewhere, a little puddle or something. If your shoes are barely above your toes, then you're not going to be a happy camper. So anyway, getting back to the good news of the increasing employment numbers in the tourism industry, as the industry rebounds, the island is almost at the 10,000 job mark after losing some 15,000 jobs as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Wow. According to the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, the SLTA, quarterly reemployment, quarterly say chaque 3 mois. A quarter of the year is 3 months. The year is 12 months. Chaque quarter c'est 3. 4 into 12 is 3. According to the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, quarterly reemployment figures in tourism totaled 3,730 from July to September 2020. 7,402 between October and December, 6,015 between January and March 2021, and 8,251 between April and June 11th. When Marco Pansasa Blidila. Fede recalled, that's Dominic Fede, Minister of Tourism, he recalled that the United States market has come back some 81%, and we are projecting a very strong June as many hotels are reporting very strong occupancies, very strong bookings. And the minister made that statement at a news conference yesterday, Wednesday. He went further to say, in fact, one hotel has indicated that this has been its best May, and he anticipates to have his best June since the date of opening his hotel. Wow, incredible. Fede said that the Canadian government is making significant strides in its vaccination program. Okay, that's a little out of place there. It just follows directly, just out of the blue. Who writes these things? And as a result, officials here hope that, as in the case of the United Kingdom and the US, St. Lucia will see the Canadian market come back as soon as possible, so it can help to support the strong rebound, mostly led by the U.S. market. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Brother Norbert. How are you doing?
Morning, I'm doing good. Sounds like you're out and about and up and all over.
I'm up and all over.
Yeah, talk to me.
Let me tell you, based on what you read, this news from the tourism sector,
Yeah.
where you see people going back to work, at least 10,000, that's the number it is.
Yeah, 66% of the tourism, the jobs that were lost, yeah.
Just on this basis alone, this government should be re-elected because we're in the midst of a pandemic. The coronavirus is still with us all over the world. That is the reality. And here it is, in the midst of a pandemic, you have tourist arrivals have been consistently high. That shows clearly that this government, under the stewardship of Minister of Tourism, Dominic
Doing the
Feeney
right thing.
and his technocrats, have a vision, they have a plan, they have a strategy. And just on this
Undoubtedly.
basis alone, St. Lucian should vote for this government. Just on that alone. Taxi drivers, as you say, over 1 year ago, they were out of work. Now
Well,
they're
let me
back
tell
at
you,
work.
I know some taxi drivers who were saying, well, it's all about what everyone, we repeat, people come out and make statements. They have speeches and they talk to, different groups, and they're quick to quote foreign leaders and statements that have been made in the past by all and sundry. And they will say, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, quoting JFK. How does that apply to St. Lucia all of a sudden? Huh? How many of them you really heard saying that? Huh? How many of them you heard saying that?
It's true because when the coronavirus was on at its peak, everybody had to make a sacrifice. The world had to make a sacrifice. Countries all over the world, leaders all over the world, appeal to their citizens to make a sacrifice. And we have to appreciate the fact that in the midst of the pandemic, still, our tourism sector held its own. As a matter of fact, I'm happy that all the hotel workers, particularly the young people who are out of a job, they're going back to work. And that's welcoming news. That's happy news for all St. Lucians should be happy about that. And that shows clearly the vision and the foresight of the government. When the Labour Party, the opposition, told the Prime Minister, shut down the country, close the borders, and the Prime Minister take their foolish advice, where would our economy be?
We'd be in the dumps. People would be eating each other right now.
You see, that shows clearly the lack of foresight and vision of the Labour Party. The Prime Minister, they criticize him. Oh, you're not closing down the country and you're putting the St. Lucians at risk. But the Prime Minister had a vision. He had a plan. He knew what he was doing. And just on this basis alone, where this news came out, St. Lucians should go out in their large numbers and vote for the UWP. Because that is the only party and government that has a plan for St. Lucia. You ask the opposition, up to now, those guys, they want election. What are your plans? They cannot tell St. Lucia. All they do is go around the place beating pans. And do you think St. Lucians would vote for you on that basis? I mean, what is the Labour Party's plan? We don't know. They have no plan. So I'm happy that the St. Lucians are going back to work. It's welcoming news. And I'm appealing to all St. Lucians, when the Prime Minister decides to call the elections, do the right thing, do the sensible thing, and vote for the United Workers' Party. Have a good day, brother.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank
Keep
you.
up
Have
the
a great
good
day.
work.
Thank you. 4560931 is the number in the studio if you want to give me a ring-a-ling on ting-a-ling. And our WhatsApp number is 4850931. 4850931 if you prefer to send a message, or give me a call via WhatsApp if you're in the diaspora, anywhere around the world, or if you're a little frugal on the spending, or you have no credit and you have Wi-Fi access and your WhatsApp still works. You could make your contribution over here. You could talk about something. You could talk about the news that I just read to you there. Dominic Feeney said that the tourism sector is rebounding. 66% or 10,000 of the workers who were affected in the tourism industry are back at work today. That's good news. Let's give St. Lucia. Let's give Dominic Feeney. Let's give the government a round of applause. Because for some people, the only time they open their trap is for bad news. Try to put people down. Try to make the country look bad. Well, there are other people out here who are not defeatists, who don't hate their country, and who can be proud and who can be happy when there's good news about St. Lucia. Not like some of y'all hackalacks. Yeah. Not like some of these hackalacks. Patriots, you bunch of hatriots. You know it. You know it. You know it. But folks, you know, when people's only agenda, is to put down everything the government does, it is so transparent, it is so obvious. Okay, and we have a call via WhatsApp. Let's see. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hey, good morning, Norbert.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's rainy day. Okay,
It's raining.
Wonderful. Yeah. Norbert, I'm so happy to hear that news of the tourism industry rebounding, and that so many St. Lucians who work in the tourism and hospitality industry are back to work. But no, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by this. I keep saying tourism is one of the most resilient industries in the world. Yes, it is susceptible to shocks, for example, terrorism, global financial crises, pandemics, etc. But tourism is a resilient industry and it bounces back. And I mean, which industry isn't susceptible to shocks?
Exactly.
You have agriculture,
Exactly.
totally decimated with a hurricane.
And we're in that season now.
Exactly. So it's not just tourism that's susceptible to external forces. But I was saying, I'm not surprised that the industry is rebounding. St. Lucia has a very, very, very strong brand that has been developed over the years because of the investments that have taken place in market. And sometimes people don't understand why we're doing marketing, because sometimes the effect is not necessarily immediate. But you must continue to make those investments, of these marketing investments, all the time. You know, I saw people questioning why we're sending a contestant to Miss World in the middle of a pandemic. But the reality, that is marketing for St. Lucia, not just for our tourism brand, for many things, our CIP brand, our export brand, the brand St. Lucia overall. And I must say kudos to this government and to St. Lucia. We kept the lights on, so to speak, during the pandemic. While certain countries, because tourists weren't coming, they shut off the lights and stopped their marketing. St. Lucia did an excellent job in keeping our lights on.
That's right.
We had so many viral marketing events. And we were actually a model for a lot of places as to what we were doing to keep our consumers still interested in St. Lucia, even during the pandemic and even while the country was still fairly closed. And that's important. And I know the Prime Minister keeps saying, and people keep asking, why tourism? Why are we investing so much in tourism? Tourism is a catalyst for the development of other industries.
That's right.
And I want people to understand that. Tourism is not tourism just for the sake of tourism. Tourism is a catalyst for the development of other industries. Tourism drives so many things. It drives agriculture. It drives fisheries. No, but we know that when our numbers were down because of COVID, the farmers were complaining. The fishers were.
That's right.
Right? We know that tourism is an industry, is a catalyst for financial services, for insurance, for vehicle sales. When you have so many people employed in tourism, it drives your construction industry. People looking for homes, people looking for vehicles.
Hold on a second here. Do not call the WhatsApp number on your regular phone. It is for WhatsApp calls. Okay? I keep saying that all the time. I will not respond to calls via the WhatsApp number coming from a regular line. The 4560931 is the number for the studio if you have a regular landline. WhatsApp is for persons outside of St. Lucia to call so they don't incur a fee of long distance calling. And it's for those who don't have credit or don't want to spend too much of their money to call in. So we give everybody an opportunity to call into the show. And if you hear me on the line with somebody else, I ain't going to be answering another call. Wait, slow down, take it easy. Go ahead, Minerva.
Yeah, no, but so I was saying that, so it's a catalyst for the development of other industries. And no, but I remember last year around this time, in fact earlier, March, April, May, when COVID was breaking and people were panicking. And I remember the PM saying that this is not going to last forever. Our focus is on keeping lives and livelihoods. And he kept repeating the message. We need to keep the country open and the country moving.
Yep.
So we need to protect ourselves, but we need to keep things open and moving so that when coronavirus is over, and we're towards the end of this big, the first, second, third wave, we need to be able to come out of this stronger. And he repeated this over and over. He's positioning St. Lucia to come out of COVID stronger. And I must say kudos to the Prime Minister for doing that.
Absolutely.
While other people were asking, while the prophets of doom and gloom were asking us
Shut it down.
to shut it down, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. Let people stay at home and just give people money, give people money. The Prime Minister kept saying, no, we are keeping the country open. So when we come out, we are ready to, we are
That's
poised
right.
to take off.
That's
And
right.
that's the position we found ourselves in, thanks to the vision of this Prime Minister. Again, the prophets of the doom and gloom were asking, why are we building an airport in the middle of a pandemic? It's going to take 5 years for us to recover. I don't know since when people build infrastructure. Now, infrastructure, you do infrastructure planning years in advance. You build infrastructure years in advance of where the boom is. And we always knew our tourism industry was strong. We'd come out stronger. No, but look at this past winter. St. Lucia did fantastic in the middle of COVID. We're coming out this strong. The press release you read the part about Canada and the vaccinations is because the Canadian government stopped all flights to warm weather destinations, not just St. Lucia, all warm weather destinations, so all the Caribbean, Mexico, and so on. Even when that happened, the prophets of doom and gloom were shouting, oh, look at that, the Canadian government closed the border to St. Lucia. No, it was not the Canadian government shutting the border to St. Lucia. They stopped flights to warm weather destinations because they know people need to escape. After a winter, people need to get away to somewhere warm, and that's why they did it. So the point about vaccinations is that Canada was very, very slow on this vaccination rollout. They have since done well with these vaccinations. So once Canada continues on that trajectory, we should see WestJet and Air Canada coming back to not just St. Lucia, but the Caribbean and Mexico. So that market is, the press release I think is saying that market is poised to take off as soon as Canada's vaccination program keeps going. But it's fantastic to hear that the U.S. market has rebounded. You said, I think 80% of the U.S. market has returned? I think
yes, 80 something percent. Yes.
Yeah, but that's excellent. I mean, the U.S. vaccination rollout has done very,
so the
very
population
well,
of Canada is what?
Back.
The population of Canada now is what? 36 million or something like that?
38 million. Or
right.
38 million.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the statistics here. At least as of June the 14th, which is 3 days ago, 25 million Canadians have received at least their first vaccines.
Yeah.
And fully vaccinated is just under 5 million. Fully vaccinated. So those are the figures there for you. And those are very good numbers. Very good numbers for the industry.
Market, You see, since COVID, the Canadian market, people have been working from home, so people have pent-up income.
Oh, yeah.
People are not going to work, so they're not spending on eating out, they're not spending on
That's
vacations.
right.
People have been spending money in Canada, buying luxury goods, so boats. People have been buying cottages, people have been buying snowmobiles, people have been buying jet skis. In fact, you cannot find those goods. Right now, you cannot find a boat to buy in Canada. So you have all of that income, that disposable income that Canadians have. And let me tell you, once you see those flights come back and people can travel,
spending. No,
but expect the unleash of that Canadian market. People have the disposable income. They want to travel.
Yeah.
No, but I'm sure you understand this, that you've lived in North America, the psychology of going through a winter.
Oh, yeah.
You
cabin
need
fever.
to mentally get out.
Cabin
and come-
fever.
Come to a place like St. Lucia. Exactly.
Let me
Get
tell you,
ready
let
for
me
it,
tell
St.
you,
Lucia.
Minerva.
We're in a good position.
When you see, especially when you have those winters where you have snowstorms back to back and people are just stuck inside for months, you just go to work, come
No,
back.
but,
When you get a little
not
Indian
easy.
summer or a little warm up, it may be even just 55 degrees. You swear it's the middle of summer, people outside in shorts, people
Yep.
going berserk. I mean, people
Yep.
going crazy.
Yeah. No, but there's a basic human need to travel. It's almost, especially when you live in a cold destination, it's almost as basic as food, clothing, and shelter.
Yeah.
People need to mentally get away for their own mental health.
Yeah.
And when you come from a winter destination, man, I'm telling you, people want to get away to somewhere warm, lay by the pool, lay by the beach.
Look
See
at
something
spring break.
different?
Look at spring break to people who've been studying and
Absolutely.
cooped up for how long, and you get that
Yeah.
break now.
Yeah. So you know what's happened to the Canadian market too? They've been forced to stay close to home to vacation for the last year. So people are sick and tired of seeing the same place over and over. You know, fairly close to their home within their own province and so on. So get ready for it, St. Lucia. We're coming out of this COVID strong. People should get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Protect yourself. Most people coming in, I think I saw a stat that 50% of those coming in right now are vaccinated. St. Lucians, get vaccinated. We need to move past COVID. We can't stay languishing in this. We can't stay stuck. We need to get vaccinated and let's move on with our lives. We're coming out of this strong. The Prime Minister has positioned St. Lucia, not just in tourism, but overall, the economy, the country, the infrastructure, the capital work's going on. Oh no, but speaking of that, I spoke to somebody recently, and the person is a contractor. The person said they're so happy for the capital works the government is invested in, because what's happening, all the thousands of people, the ordinary St. Lucians who are working on those capital projects all over the country, the roads, the infrastructure, and so on. The person made the point that these people are not spending that money at Massey supermarket. They're going into their community shops. They're
Yeah.
spending money in their local
Yes.
shops.
Yes.
You know, some money is filtering to the communities, directly to the communities. So we come out of this with good infrastructure, and the infrastructure is, again, increasing your capacity for development, while at the same time putting money in the hands of St. Lucians and putting money in local businesses. St. Lucia, we're coming out of this good. We just need to stay focused, stay
That's
the
right.
course, and
That's
let's
right.
keep working.
That's right.
Thanks, Norbert.
Thank you very much. Thank you for keeping it real this morning, and none other, hey, and Minerva Ward. Have a great day. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Monsieur Norbert, bonjour.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Oui, mon content programme là pour matin.
Mm.
Là où est technicien qui travaille, moi ni enjoy cabinet évidemment. Puis m'appeler jour pour moi et puis on souhait pour eux.
Yeah.
Et puis pour ça premier ministre là qu'a fait, mon content comme ça. Puis ça c'est un homme qui dans vision. Et c'est un homme qui comprend. Et mon blé simplicien comprendre nom ça là, c'est pas un homme qui là pour quoi tout seul. Parce que si tu es là pour quoi tout seul, il pas de mettre en position ça là.
Oui.
Puis si tu es là c'est business, puis c'est juste assez de faire qu'on laisse ça garder moins pas quand en politique. Ça rentre en politique. Mais les un homme comme ça en politique, il pas entré là pour garder pour quoi. Il entré là pour garder pour ces mouna. C'est jeune maman là, c'est petit maman là qui va venir. C'est pas mon comme moi encore, c'est aller, monter aller. Mais les gens n'ont comme ça venir, et puis ils veulent boire, et puis ils veulent embrasser tout le monde. Pour faire pays ça garder différent, nous supposons assis et catcher l'économie. Catcher qui ça nous voulait bailler histoire de pour vivre. Qui ça nous voulait bailler grand petit maman nous qui va venir après. Nous n'y pour bâtir pays ça bailler on a l'autre. Et puis si tout ça, les hot, tout ça il fait. Ou captain opposition n'a qu'à finir et puis qu'à parler pour négatif pour dire pas qu'à faire ça pour nous demander qu'on comprend. Et si vous comptez un pays, et bien les moi lever si maman moi toujours comme ça. Mais on m'a toujours qu'à dire non. D'ailleurs Jack et puis ou pas ça pour Jack est bon moi. On est pour quitter Jack c'est ça Jack. Et puis c'est ça nous supposé calculer. Si à présent tout pays qui a tiré et puis un peu nous qu'à descendre, et bien qu'à monter. Et pourquoi je veux un monde qu'à quitter Caillou pour y travailler. Si nous regardons chimère là à présent, il y a un monde qui a pour un boss pour aller en travail. Ce n'est pas juste pour un boss pour aller à Batman, Yo ka pou boss la pou aller ay gade sa yo kay se bay for yo. Et puis moi pour dire bravo pour premier ministre. Et ça c'est un homme qui toujours mis en vision. Ça c'est un homme qui a calculé à bon mauvais temps arrivé. Il a préparé quoi pour les mauvais temps arrivé. Oui, il a ça pour faire. Premier homme qui savent les bagailles Covid là commencé. Il pas pour nous tous mettre dans l'hôpital. Quand ça fait il aller partir à vieille femme là. Et puis vieille femme là a connaître il ouvert quoi pour quitter premier ministre la bataille. OK? Et puis qui satisfait? Là nous sommes l'hôpital pour les gens malades et puis des fois malades, yon moun pour corona. Et c'est à présent Canada a fait presque gros simplifié pour Covid. Et puis ça c'est intervention ça là premier ministre nous dernier. So ça m'a dit simplifié. Katile qui sort de faire. Massadou et pas moun qui a mettre impose bagaille les monde et ka mettre loi en les monde. Mais moi ka dit mon blog garder balancer cohorte. De ça ti ka fait. OK? Avant hot Katile pourtant tout en pour la pour faire ça on ka faire. La pas ni pour ni les bas, la pas ni pour ni WP. Oui, mais ça n'a dit qui UWP qui les bas. En nous garder côté nous y là à présent. Qui ça ti primaire pour pays non? C'est pas coulé. Parce que nous, toute la sortie, yon side nous là dans l'autre side. Mais nous n'y pour mettre pays à devant. Ce pays à nous voulons savoir qui côté il aller. Ce pays ça nous voulons savoir. Et si nous avons bâti, nous, et petit nous pour venir. Et puis si là nous yon homme, si a vision, et puis bah une chance pour continuer à travailler. Et puis après ça, on va juger. Mais après ça, on pas ça changer un capitaine en mettant la mer. Si a cette course, et pour juste prendre l'autre capitaine, et pour mettre là, et puis c'est désastre de gagner. Pour pas ça stop, un cheval commence à courir, ou pas ça changer un jockey, les courses là à quitter les.
Yeah, that's right.
Bah là. So nous ni pour catcher comme nous ni pour veiller qui ça nous besoin de pays nous ni pour catcher et si nous voulons veiller pays nous devant et puis nous voulons nous assis dans l'œil et puis catcher oh moi c'est les bas c'est les bas et moi c'est les non à nous garder qui ça qui est primaire qui laisse monde et puis yo pas money pour dire
hey.
As much as l'autre side la ka dit yo buy one shot pour entrer mais dis-nous qui ça ou ka faire dis-nous qui ça ou planer bon nous dis-nous qui ça ou ka faire primaire passer ça dit là ou pas ka juste dis nous métaux là
one shot just quoi en freeness
comprendre so monsieur Nombot
yes sir
quitter programme là aller quitter et mon blessé mon couper et mon ka envie plus moun ka couiller parler créole c'est là ni yon de moun qui ka envie coûter en créole là
oui
comprendre mais mon ka dit simplicien catile qui sont le faire en nous pas catile sous couler en nous pas catile maman nous papa nous c'était les bas comme depuis fête et puis c'est là nous pour rester en nous catile veiller ça qui a fait aller dehors là vote by issue et puis issue pas vote by call si vous a passé 50 60 ka aller oui mais c'est issue et puis issue ou ni pour sa future qui va venir en l'autre 20 ans pour l'autre quitter pays ça là pour ça vous quitter issue à dans bon caille et c'est ça bonjour.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Have a great day. 456-0931 if you want to give me a call in the studio. And let's see here now. Let's continue with that little story a little bit. According to Dominic Fede, there's a lot to consider. Vaccinated against non-vaccinated passengers. The fact that not a significant number of people below the age of 18 are vaccinated. For example, how do you treat those? Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Bonjour, Monsieur Norbert. Comment
Bonjour. Voilà. Claudia.
Bon. Comment vous ça?
Dis-moi.
Moi, toujours te savent. Un jour, ça te caille fait, ça te caille arrivé.
Qui ça qui fait?
Parce que tous ces bons Michel ça là qui t'a descendu. En l'air, moi, ça dit que ça y même si ça tue, l'applicateur de formation qui t'appelle moins bien.
Natano.
Ok. Moi, toujours te savent qu'il est bas. C'est taille à chaque manière pour dire bout. C'est bon Michel ça qui t'a venu. Parce que yon souhait. Sur Moi, c'était choice, moi, j'ai flip channel, moi, c'est choice. Moi, c'est M. Philippe GTS, vers 10 ans, à sous Sky FM.
Ça y est, hein?
Moi, c'est mis vers 10 ans.
Caller. Sony Radio, web TV online. Il a fait, mettez ça. Oui.
Moi, loin.
Mais, well, l'attendez là, au cas de moi.
Le maire a besoin?
Oui.
Ok, bon. So, moi-même, je wonder, un homme qui s'est allé à sous HTS, avec 10 évidence, côté Gaïdi Bagay, du data qui s'agit avec les origines, pour que ça produise juste toujours. Mais aujourd'hui, je suis demandé pour Sky FM et puis parler de Sky FM comme radio flamboa pour du bout ça yo ka fait à di bagay qui pas vrai about you.
About qui mon?
About yo leba.
Well, ma savais.
Sky FM ka di bagay. Yo juste mette un clip Champagne. Côté Champagne te dit tout ce midi à ça là qui a parlé avec ces bagay ça. Est yo ka joindre payer. Ma salsi Champagne te dit est les baka payer ces gens médias. Mais c'est mon ça après ça c'est mon ça out to get you all. Mais même je l'ai dit. From time qu'on est comme on Claudius Francis. Moi changé mon désir le ministre of Housing et Berbaï m'a changé. Il tenait un hôtel Tuxedo Village.
Oui.
Et ça fait un gros controversie.
Oui.
N'a changé Claudius Francis te dit depuis point l'argent pays à différentes dates avec Bayo Taba ou c'est un volet. Ça veut dire que mon désir un volet. On n'est pas fait pour ça. Aujourd'hui, jusqu'à FM qui partage jamais en existence pour faire des fentes. Maman Flabo, il a pitché dada c'est pour ça tellement besoin de rapport mettre pour juste fermer. Moi, je veux ça, ils ont qu'à point ça en période avec du bout de parler.
Kola, bande au bail. Bande au bail.
Nous, Maman Flabo.
Quittez-moi de un bail, Kola. Moi, j'ai dit avant, moi, dit hier, moi, l'idée, et que j'ai dit aujourd'hui. Personne pas qu'à faire mes paix pour parler la vérité. Et moi qu'à dire, les moins parler, moi non bot ça là. Na bayou, na montre évidence là pour ou même, pour quoi même. Et fait kachilo.
Oui, mon gars, évidence ça, c'est pas bagaille qui te fait le ma tête là quand il te dit when you evidence là il pas que Kamouchi. Et les gens regardent plus tard, il y a tous les défis de papier à Blanco. Nous avons à soutenir toute évidence là. So, ça y est là, quand l'élection va venir tout pour.
Oui, that's right.
Et les bagages qui sont sortis dehors. Vous avez acheté un manuel pour empêcher évidence de bagages sortis dehors.
That's right.
Parce que c'est seul midi, il y a nous qui a monté nous évidence avec ça pour télé bas. Ma goyon sur les choice FM, moi yo fait ça ou toujours toujours dit. Date qui élection c'est après dissolve parlement.
That's right, là où dissolve parlement, c'est
la dernière channel moi yo expliquer cette mon compagnie bien ma goyon fait ça fait ça longtemps. Mais ce qui pour ça là ni Jean Leba.
Oh yes.
C'est mon qui en Leba a dit gouvernement Flambeau a entre un 6e l'année.
En 6e l'année. Puis 5e l'année fini. Oui. Ça est menti, au ka menti. Si personne dit ça, menti, au ka menti.
Ah ouais.
Moi qui dis ça.
Complètement qu'a dit ça. Pour moi, à besoin là, je pas mis assez vite. Si soit c'est pour ça ouvert bouche et parler, ça nous pas coûter assez cool pour un bouche pour le là. Moi, je veux commencer à coincer pour ça tout un tête, tout un jolio.
Kola, bandi au bail. Dans ces boucs ça comme là ou an l'école, on y a bouli. Et tout les a bouli à ka ba ou kou. Personne pas fait rien. Tout les a bouli à ka ba ou kou. Yo ka di sa yo vle, yo ka fait sa yo vle, tout moun ka hen excuse ba yo. Mais joua ou commence goumen vie. Ba yo coup de poing ba boudin yo. Pousse yo, ba yo poussade ou pas point encore. Puis un jour là où ou ka decide ou savent jodi a maka pour ça encore. Et c'est laisse ça yo vle jouer victime, yo vle you see what he do me, you see what he say.
Mais c'est ça que parle là, hein.
These elections will be the nastiest. Ou changer ça comment?
Oui, mais
Mais c'est les
il tient le choice encore.
les ou ka fait.
Et puis comment on a une junior,
Ah, ça ils a fait ça, même mamele. Les ou ka fait tout ça ou ka fait. Right? Là ou ka fait tout bail sale ou ka fait. Personne pas dit rien. Mais les ou savent now, ça ou ka fait. Finalement moun ka pousse vie. Nous pas apprendre ça encore. C'est là où ka dit ça, et là où Henry now, puis c'est ça où t'es ka fait. Ou ka dit, ouais, c'est ça moi te dis autres. Mais c'est où qui t'a un coup, j'ai toutes les ans.
Oui, Nathan Monsieur ka kouye victimization.
Ah,
C'est
c'est pour ça, c'est pour ça Nietzsche pour parler about victimization. Ah,
bon,
ah non.
moi je veux dire un bagage encore. Les mangas de situation, les bas. Moi, ça un bœuf. Seulement, il y a un bœuf, ça nous démet. C'est là où il y a moitié.
C'est là, il y a une idée de qui ça?
Un bœuf, ça nous démet.
Ah,
C'est là où il y a bœuf, là, du moitié.
ah,
Ça veut dire, bœuf ou, mais, ou ben, moi, garder bœuf là-bas ou.
ah,
Qu'on bœuf là nous démet.
yeah.
Si nous tuons, nous avons l'eau moins, on peut jouer l'eau. Mais les bas, parti les bas, un dimotier, 4 mètres. Avec si yo pas kawai, mande yo, pour garder bien yo kawai. L'année Enosile, l'année Kenny, l'année Philippe J. Pierre, et l'année Richard. Et pas Richard de Lionheart m'a parlé, mais c'est pas Lionheart. Et l'année Richard. Bon. Flambon, infatigablement, quand il y a une élection, ça. Ma brise de personne doute, ni doute en ça. Mais on nous regarde. En tous les cas, les bas gagnent. Ça qui a fait. Ça qui a eu Philippe Dupierre, l'année Richard, l'année Kenny, et l'année Nile. Ils ont tout voulu mettre là. Ça qui a fait. On fait. On a des placards là qui étaient liés. No Richard, no Labour. Ça ou quoi qui a fait? Moi, je voulais ma flambeau assise et garder ça.
On yon minute quoi là?
Aussi.
On yon minute.
Assise et garder ça, ouais. Et demandez quoi yo. Est-ce que c'est nom ça là, yo veut gouverner. Mais même pas là about les autres gars, tout ces boucs ça a tombé en toi. Yo tout a fait. Yo tout déjà fait. So, un nous regarde qui décision, nous, ma flambeau, et ma maille qui pas content ça qui a allé. Qui ça nous a fait pour un bénéfice pays nous. Un nous regarde ça. Merci autant.
Thank you very much, caller. Messi. I have a message here. Good morning, Mr. Williams. I am up and frying some hot bakes. You can get a few and some hot tea from the south. And it's raining heavy down there. Why are you going to do that? Why you want to do that? I can get ou quoi na arrivé en bas là, c'est bex là kay ou kay manger. C'est bex là bon lait à moi arrivé en bas là. That's not right, man. Stop that, man. Stop that. Folks, let me put out the challenge again today. You see, it's all deflect. You have to read the tactics here. Okay? You have to read the tactics. You have to read the tactics. A lot of fluff and bluff and deflection, and you know when they feeling the pressure in the dada. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Okay, you're not ready yet. For so long now, I have challenged, I have asked, I have begged, people have asked for Philip J. Pierre to say something about the people in the belly of the SLP beast, like that despicable character who made those terroristic threats, who made the statement on social media, who is well associated and well known by and with the SLP, that grenades, a bomb should be put under the seat of Prime Minister Alan Shastney and Guy Joseph in our House of Parliament, the same parliament that's occupied by those members of the opposition, and that tear gas should be thrown in there. That same person went on later to say, the day after the Capitol Hill invasion in Washington, D.C., that we should make our parliament in St. Lucia our Capitol Hill. Philip J. Pierre has remained mute and moot on the matter. Be a man, grow some, you know what, and say something, man. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Morning, Mr. Norbert.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Norbert.
Good morning.
Yes, I said, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Talk to me.
Beautiful. Okay, Mr. Norbert, all what I have to do is not nothing much this morning to one St. Lucians. I don't care whether you're Labour or not. That's not the key word. Mr. Norbert, I want to send a warning out there to the people of St. Lucia as a St. Lucian. Okay? If we ever change this government, Mr. Norbert, I'm saying again, this country will be in a real major disaster. We're going to suffer in this country more than we ever did before. We don't give the opposition any chance to come in this country, because I hear them saying that if they come, they'll do better. Mr. Norbert, I want the Labour Party and the Kenny Anthony and his crew, what better they're going to do in this country for the country and for the people.
Where's
of the
the
country.
evidence of that?
There is no evidence of that. And St. Lucians must stop fighting and heckering and bettering with each other, and let's see what's going on in the outside world, and let's compare with our little nation here to see how things are going. Things are not getting better, Mr. Norbert. It will get worse if we change this present government the right
You know something,
now.
caller? I'm glad you brought up that point, because some time ago, I was having a discussion. I was looking, people say, oh, the SLP will be worse. And I like to give Jack his jacket. I like to be fair. I was like, but, they will be government. They would have no choice but to do what needs to be done. But, as I continued to look at the stories, investigate, look at their performance over the years, in-depth examination of the evidence, I'm saying, but in the best of times, for some reason, these guys could just not get it together. You think in the middle of a pandemic, when things are at the worst, that they will be any better than in the best of times when they were bad? And I came to the serious conclusion that no way should these guys get anywhere close to governing in St. Lucia during these times or any time at all. They are inept. Disaster. I don't know if you share that, if you made that same observation, but in examining the evidence, I don't have any confidence
Yes, Mr. Norbert.
at all.
Okay. Mr. Norbert, these guys had get this country after King lost the election. Good, They had get it good. But what they do with it? They throw it away. They actually throw it away. Because the guys had the opportunity. They won 3 times. They were 16-1. The guys had the country in their hand. They could have do all what they had because they had the money. And they get the most aid from the Taiwanese than the United Workers' Party.
Caller, you know what gets me more than anything else?
All right.
You know what gets me more than anything else? That report that was conducted by the Auditor General or whoever it is on those roads with those cost overruns, $100 and something million cost overruns. Dewey. A lot of people forgot that name, Dewey.
Dewey.
And
yes.
we're not talking about Rice.
No.
Lagan. Remember those names?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
This is incredible.
And when they talk about the Prime Minister, they don't know how to use money.
And nobody has been held accountable for that.
These guys waste money. That's why he could not. That's why he could not bring his house into order.
Financial
then he come
house.
and say
Yeah.
something happened, but he never said what happened.
What was the something?
What happened? Something happened. St. Lucians don't understand that word.
That's right.
Something happened.
They never.
Now,
You
let me
know
tell you something.
where our journalists again? Where they going? None of you hear anybody ever ask him what was something that happened?
No, what that something that happened? Because chefs could not manage the economy of this country. You could not manage it. So how you telling me one that could not manage an economy of a country of 100, 238 square miles, now you will come and handle it?
Yeah.
St. Lucians, I'm saying to St. Lucian, I'm not talking about Flabo and Liver, I'm talking about St. Lucians. Get your act together and do not change this government there right now. Whether you support it or not, the question is you supporting your country and your economy. Do not make that error at all in our life. Thank you, Mr. Norbert. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. 456-0931. And folks, we're going to take a little break here for a minute or two for some advertising. I hope we're ready over there, because you told me get ready. We're going to take a 2-minute break for some advertising. GVD TV. Let's go. I guess he ain't ready yet. How are you going to tell me to be ready and then you're not ready? Okay. Send me a message when you're ready.
To be honest, I must say that this rep has truly represented her constituency. Of all the representation I've got in Micoud North, I must say that's the one who has really executed what she promised. Gail Rigobert promised schools for better education. She promised new roads. She promised better healthcare facilities. And under her leadership, we got the re-establishment of the renovation of the health center. We also got new roads to the school where it is easier accessible in case of emergencies. We have an entrance and an exit at this time, which I find is very important. Also, the rep has a very keen interest in single parents, and as a single mother, I personally have gained from what she has done to help single parents. For example, she provided MiFi for all children who had no internet, which was very good for me because I had to be putting plan on my phone all the time because I had no internet. So my child could have done her schoolwork and make me proud and be an A+ student. I am staying with Auntie Gail.
As a result, we are going to establish a Grozily Credit Union to incorporate the Fishermen's Cooperative, the farmers, and all and sundry
can benefit from having a credit union agriculture program. Also develop our fishing. Youthing agriculture, as I mentioned earlier, is very important.
I'm going to ensure that we have a home for the elderly.
A daycare for our elderly and ensure that our elderly is well taken care of.
Uh-oh. Copycat alert.
You serious?
Let's keep working. Let's keep moving. Yeah. Rise, 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 rise. We don't rise. Shouting. Restoring the pride. It's yours and it's mine. Let's do this together. Preserve for the future, restoring the pride. It's yours and it's mine. Let's do this together. Preserve for the future. Yeah, sweet Beatles, nothing like you. So iconic on this beautiful island. Yeah, we adore you, so we will protect you. So your beauty can be seen by all eyes.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1.
Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's going to be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it. And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And if you were trying to call in, we had some ads going by here, so you can give me a call, 456-0931. 456-0931. We have a call coming in already. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning again, Nobi.
Morning, sir.
Nobi, we have an opposition, okay? And they're not even, this guy's not even in power yet. And they cannot even start keeping the promises, These guys are in opposition and they cannot even keep a promise. One of the promises they made while they're in opposition. Imagine, remember the leader of the opposition, that is Pitt, said that he will have all his slate of candidates by July. That's last year.
Yeah. He even went on another station and he said, man, I have candidates coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
I have lots of young people, all of these candidates.
And up to this time, you cannot present 17 candidates. That's the first time that ever happened. That's the first time that ever happened.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Pressure does boost pipe.
In this solution, politics cannot present the candidates, full slate of candidates on the eve of an election.
Well, that is Zafei, you caller. Zafei. There's a lot more. What they say about Mashlani pli passe kisa?
Passe pinoa.
Okay. All right.
There is something to that. But we cannot have these guys. These guys cannot even get the act together in opposition. He's in government, so will do something.
All right.
Lushans, we have to open our eyes, man. We have to open our eyes. We have to open our eyes. We cannot have these guys there. And back to that letter thing. That letter thing, Nobi. That letter thing, Kenny Anthony wrote
to Robert Ainsworth.
Up to yesterday, I go and look for that money. I get nothing about that money.
Nothing.
Nothing on that money,
Nothing.
Nothing. Amani was selling the whole east coast of St. Lucia too,
Well, boy.
With no taxes.
Let me tell you something, caller. What DSH is occupying there pales in comparison to that,
That's a drop in the ocean compared to what they were offering the guy. No taxes. You have access to any minerals, anything found.
So let me ask you a question. Is Kenny Anthony saying, or is the SLP saying to me, that letter signed by Kenny Anthony to Robert Ainsworth was a bluff, that it was just a trick to make him come here? And when he gets here, he won't get any of that? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I hope they're not coming to trying to say that. Are they saying that? To me, I haven't heard anything concrete from them from that,
Nah, you paka di anye, caller. Why you think the silence is deafening? Anye.
That thing there is so damning, man. No taxes.
Nada.
Present or future.
Nada.
These guys would have their own pot, bringing in whatever they want, tax-free, duty-free.
Everything free. And in all of it, these are the same guys that talk about transparency and accountability, who wanted everything of DSH before anything. They want you to tell them. The moment you meet with people, tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, it's the public knowledge.
Public information. That's right, taxpayers' money.
Yes.
But then when you promise all of that,
and then at the end you're saying that it's confidential.
Papa lay about Lee.
It's confidential between you and the parties involved. Man, that thing there, I don't know how people taking that lightly, but I taking that serious. Two reasons I'm taking it serious.
That's
one,
the hypocrisy.
If that thing had gone through. St. Lucia would have been non-existent. And two, who knows what these guys have.
But caller.
Did again with that thing.
Caller,
I don't know.
Caller, let me tell you something. It's the same thing again. It's just talk. And the SLP has been pregnant for a long time. They can't deliver. All it is that they have labor pains. They stuck. They in labor and they cannot deliver. Look, DSH in discussions can't deliver. Look, Daha Mall was there under them. They had an opportunity to do something with it. They had an opportunity with whatever. You know, last night I was listening to this thing there. Because you have to listen, caller. Sometimes, you can just see voce, mais on n'y peut pas chair. Écoutez yo.
Yes.
And I'm listening to that. Well, but it's our money and this, that, and they give it away and they sell it for this. And I'm saying, but this is somebody. Honestly, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
This is a man. Let's keep it real, okay? This is a man who's an elected representative. He was our St. Lucian High Commissioner in London. Yes. He wants to form the government, be a member of the government. He is one of the chairmen in the party, right? And there's been a lot of talk that he has been tapped to be the leader of the SLP.
Yes.
Right? That's talk that's been around. Right? Yes, he's the chosen one.
Yes.
Right? You're telling me that the information about the Daha Mall, that Ernest Hilaire doesn't understand it? I listened to that thing last night and I was shocked at the exclusion of significant information about that.
And that's the fella's mood.
Because the intention, it doesn't matter what it is, to make the government look bad. Any project, the government doing a 4-lane highway up the road, criticize. Roundabout there, all kind of problems, questions, tutkalte bagay. Questions not bad, but when they are legitimate.
You know?
Ek memba ila yo fe, ek DSH, they want to nitpick on everything. You can never give these guys an answer that is going to be acceptable to them. That's the problem.
Documentation there where PIP signs acknowledging the DSS project from start to finish. He acknowledged the importance of having such a project. Yeah. So why now you up in arms and making a whole set of noise and talking a whole set of crap with regards to children going there and what? And you signed a document as acting Prime Minister. Huh? So what are you trying to say? So solutions are retarded, solutions are dumb.
No, you can't read, man. You can't understand nothing. Huh? Pass a coupon. They alone can think.
Boy, something put a joy in my heart yesterday amidst all that letter thing. When I heard Mrs. Joanna Soughton put Shazzy.
Do I say monsieur?
Man, that put a joy in my heart, man, Nobby. Because Shazzy had to stop that nonsense too.
Foolishness, man.
I mean, nothing wrong if supporting your party, nothing wrong. But that woman talk bullshit and lies. And you were such a failure in the embassy. You were such a failure. The poor lady had to come and
Caller, but that's caller. But this is what I've been saying for the longest while. That is the modus operandi of the SLP and its hackerlacks. And people will continue to say that they are good at doing that, attacking people, attacking institutions, and especially during this term of government. Anyone, individual, any agency, any government department that puts out any information that makes the government look good, that is positive for St. Lucia, you can attack you. They will say the government fool you. They will say you don't know what you're doing. They will dispute what you're saying because it does not suit their agenda. St. Lucia has to look bad under this government in order for them to put themselves as the solution to the problem. That's all it is.
You know, these guys would have looked much better in the eyes of the public had they been a genuine opposition. But all the lies and false promises and more lies I mean, the people are getting more and more disappointed in these guys. People don't even want to hear these guys.
Caller, you just have to sit back and watch. I want people to do that. Just watch and wait for the government to put out any information at all.
Oh, yes.
Any information at all. And I said so last week and the week before. When this Daha Mall started, I said, watch for it. Wait for it.
I mean, nothing that is done in the interest of the country pleases y'all, man.
Nothing.
Only when y'all doing it is good. When other people do it not good. So what kind of what kind of government? What kind of opposition is that?
But the problem is when they try to do it, they can't do it. They can never finish. They cannot do it. They cannot.
That's why I have a problem. Imagine y'all were there, but I couldn't borrow. Something went wrong.
Something happened.
Something happened, you know. And then you heard how people say, "Why when we come in, we won't have any money in the treasury. We don't know how we'll be able to make it." So what was the sense of putting all there? If y'all cannot do nothing, y'all already know y'all will not be able to do nothing. So what's the sense of voting y'all in? No hope. These guys are so solution. No hope so far while they're in opposition.
Nada.
No hope.
And you know what?
We ask for plan. They give us plan.
All they're doing is stalling, because they don't have distraction, deflection, not an explanation of how they're going to do the things, the wild, not just the things they promise to do, you know, the wild things that they promise that they will do. 4,000 and less a month, no taxes, no income taxes. So that means the first $48,000 of your income is no income taxes. And you can't tell me it's just for Maliwe or whoever. How many people make $4,000 a month anyway? So it means that if you're talking about Maliwe, it means that the people who actually making the big money are the ones who are going to be benefiting more from that break. Because you can't tell me that certain people are going to get a break and other people are not. UFO.
Man, let me tell you, I am just getting more disillusioned with these guys, Nobby, and it's not funny.
Anyway.
And, you know, it's surprising that, imagine, I've spoken to some close associates of mine, man, and these guys, when I tell you real die-hard SMN, they tell you they're really disappointed in these guys.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of...
You know, they say, they told me, and honestly, they're saying that they won't vote.
But the guys are just in an attack. But the guys are just in an attack mode. It don't matter what you say is attack. Like they blind like a bull. You hold a red cloth in front of the bull. Ekipa away, ekipa turn, I say just attack. Mindless, like a drone, like a zombie.
Yeah, nothing of substance, man. Nothing of substance from the head right down. Nothing of substance. Huh? These guys are so weak that you have a man. He's not even a member of the party. And this man is hijacking your party. So let's imagine that.
Caller, that is amazing to me.
The man is not even a member of the party, you know. And the man is hijacking, holding them at ransom. Just imagine that, man. And you all said, that's it, who you want to come and represent.
No Frederick, man? No SLP. You heard the chant, of course.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, just imagine that. A man holding you all to ransom.
Caller, this is just a joke.
You cannot even announce a candidate because of this man.
Caller, that is the most profound statement of the week.
Huh?
Bella Pamemple ring. That caller, you know what you just said there? Say that again for me, please.
They cannot announce a candidate because of a man who's not a member of the party. Just imagine that.
Thank you very much for saying that.
They cannot do it, and I defy them to do it. They cannot do it. The man is not a member of the party. Just imagine that. And you'll say you'll have so many candidates. Last night there was one on Timothy show. And this man is there. This man is wondering what I mean. And up to now, and the man that holding your ransom is not even a member of the party. And the man have your ransom.
Amun Zod Hadi Telma. Somebody they say so much about.
Yes.
Wow. Caller, this is a joke. It's a farce.
Yes,
it's a farce. It's a farce. It defies logic, and it exemplifies desperation.
Oh.
Defies logic and exemplifies desperation.
Every day I see these guys shooting themselves in the foot. And to me, they should just give up.
That's how I have characterized it.
Just
Anyway,
give up.
thank you very much, caller.
Let me give up
Thanks
somebody some other time.
Thanks for keeping it real.
Take
Have a
long.
great day. Right. 4560931. Let me see if we have some messages here. Because I'm going to go to the Daha Mall now. We have another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm doing good. Talk to me.
Program as always. Norbert,
Yes?
the opposition, for one, has never agreed with any protocol or anything that the government
Nada.
has put in place
Nada.
when it comes to COVID-19.
Nada.
That's just one failure. All of the many they've had. You see, just as current 2021, as to what is in the areas right now, COVID-19 prevention and etc., right?
Mm-hmm.
This one virus that the government of the day is trying to put things in place to save all of us, the opposition never came to terms and say, you know what, let us stand with the government and let's help spread the good news and let's see how we could control it as St. Lucian.
People, good luck.
Apparently, there is a government that cares and there is a government that does not care, and that is the opposition. So as this may sound very simple to me, because if everybody just came on board and help control, help encourage persons to get vaccinated, etc., they've taken that COVID thing to a political level.
Politicized it, yes.
And just by that alone, St. Lucian should know that the opposition does not care about their well-being, does not care about a better future. And what they say their slogan is, I don't even remember. They don't care. They just don't care. Look at just COVID alone. Let's forget about.
I think their slogan is putting us first, which means
putting
them.
us first. How can you put us first? And just by coming together,
No, I mean
with
them.
the government of the day,
It's them putting themselves
policies.
first.
Exactly. Just this simple COVID topic, they're not even coming to terms and say, you know what, let us agree on this situation. I remember clearly when I heard Dr. Kenny said in the House, had the government come and say, well, we have tried this and this did not work, we could have said it this way. He was in agreement with the government of the day, but he didn't come as clear and say, I agree with what you guys have tried, but you could have done it differently.
Remember his almost crying plea. Observe the protocols.
Exactly.
I wonder why or what cajoled him to finally come forward and be upfront about that. And the irony of it all, the hypocrisy of it all, if I should say so, is that telling people to observe the protocols, yet he was at the forefront of a march in the middle of COVID.
Exactly.
Come
and
on,
that is
man.
enough. So my point here today is that is enough to judge the opposition. They don't care. They don't see through. They don't have the vision. They don't care about the children, the young people that are growing up. They don't care. It's not about St. Lucia. It's about them. Because just COVID as a subject of today, the government is trying their best, and everything they do, they have an opposition to it. They shorten the hours, they have an opposition to it. The first shutdown, they need the labor people asking for food. Like, it just has been chaotic. A simple solution, come together.
That's right,
endorse the policies, encourage every St. Lucian. It's not a matter of red and yellow. COVID don't know where it's going. It's
That's
going
right.
anywhere, any household. It could even enter in the minister's home as well. It doesn't matter where it goes. We are one. And you cannot even say, let me agree with the government of the day on their policies, and you're saying, give you a chance, putting people first. How? You've not proven to us that you're willing to work with the government of the day just on the COVID subject.
Caller, you made a very important point here. And I'm sure all St. Lucians know, because, you know, St. Lucia is St. Lucia. In not paying attention to the protocols, in having a protest march in the middle of COVID, and then you said that COVID does not know or recognize political party affiliation, whether you UWP, whether you SLP. It doesn't know. But I really want to ask the question, which stalwart of a political party passed away because of COVID? Whose relative was on the verge because of COVID? Did COVID care whether you were UWP? Did it care whether you observed the protocols or not? Did it care whether you denied that COVID existed? Ipamele!
It doesn't care. COVID goes where it wants to go. And COVID, again, is something, it's a virus. No matter who you are, there is a possibility you could contract it. It doesn't care. We could try our best to sanitize and do everything we have to do, but the government of the day has put certain policies in place and plans in place. All the opposition needed to do was come on board and say, okay, you know what, let us try to face this head on. They never wanted to do that. They wanted to fight and make it look like it's Alan Shastin that bring COVID into St. Lucia, when they know damn right well it was a pandemic worldwide.
That's right.
So this is just one. I am just airing my sentiments on this COVID matter. This is just a legitimate reason to show St. Lucians that they need to go out to the ballot box on election day and give these people the way out. They don't need to get anywhere close to winning any seat as a matter of fact, just because of they opposing policies trying to put in place to help save every St. Lucian. They don't care about anybody. So we need to let these people know they will not get anywhere, not one seat at all. That's getting me upset to know that these people refuse to agree at least on one thing that the government is trying, which is prevention of COVID-19, the spread of COVID-19. But you have a great day, COVID.
Thank you very much.
Norbert.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Have a great day. Folks, you heard it right there. You have another call. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Talk to me. I'm good. It's raining.
Norbert, I heard you this morning. In fact, before I continue, you had a caller. I endorse everything that he said there about changing of the government.
Not changing the government.
Excuse me?
Or not changing the government.
Yeah. We are not supposed to change the government right now. St. Lucia is not ready for that. Okay? And another thing I heard you quoted JFK this morning.
Ask what your country
I don't
can
know
do for
who
you.
said it on the who said it on the opposition side. What is it, Pete?
They all quoted.
Okay.
Everybody has quoted it.
All right. But I want to say to them, what have they done for the country? If it's Philip J. Pierre who said it, what have he done for the Castries East constituency? If it's Alva, I want to know what has he done for Labrie. If it's Kenny, I want to know what has it done for Beaufort South. If it's Musa, I want to know what has it done for Beaufort North. If it's Sean, I want to know what has it done for Denry North.
Wow. Caller, those are profound questions. You know, to be honest, I never quite asked that question 6 times like that. And it's just asking it is an eye-opener when you consider what the response is. Wow.
What have they done? They want to take other people's word, message, and put it in their mouth and spur it to gain a vote. But we ain't stupid. We want to know what have they done for their country. Because when I watch them and their history is what their country have done for them. Money squandering everywhere. Seabed selling. What your country has done for you is not what you have done for your country. The opposition MPs. Wake up, people in St. Lucia. Wake up. Another thing, I realize that the SLP, you all cannot work the ministers. You all want another man to come and fix your problems, and afterwards you all want to put that person out. But it's not happening so. Somebody cannot come and sweat and put your house in order, and when you're finished, you all want to come back and say you're in charge. It ain't so. You cannot come and reap another man's benefit. You have to work hard and reap your own benefit and beat your chest. It cannot happen like that. It's unfair. And to the people of St. Lucia that are supporting the Labour Party, it is unfair to see you work yourself out to put your house in order. When another man had it, he had it in a mess. And 5 years after, that same person that couldn't navigate your house will want to come and take it because he see another man put it in order for him.
That's right.
Is that fair?
What they call that about what it is something about Wavet devant poule or whatever.
I don't know that one.
I'll remember.
You know, that is not fair at all, at all, at all. It is not fair, no, but doesn't like ugly. He doesn't like ugly. And St. Lucians, wake up. This is not the time to change a government at all. It is not the time. I have my nephew from university, and he said so. It is not the time. Even if we like our party, let's put our country first. It is not the time. They couldn't have done it in the best of times. It's not now they will be able to fix anything. Look at how they had Bank of St. Lucia, no, but when Alan came into power, Bank of St. Lucians are forgetting. Bank of St. Lucia was on the verge of bankruptcy. Alan resuscitated that bank. When you finish, you come and tell me these people are afraid of Alan Chastanet because they know he can do the job. So they will put everything to turn the minds of the people.
Okay, looks like we lost that one there. 4560931. And you know what I'm going to do is read some of the messages now because I'm quite certain that there are a few, and there are. Morning, Mr. Norbert. I woke up smiling when I remembered hearing Philip Pierre saying that it was the SLP that brought Hess into St. Lucia. This guy needs... he needs... I ain't gonna say that. He needs to know that Hess was introduced to St. Lucia by John Compton, which the Labour Party opposed at the time. Okay. Morning, Norbert. Heard they give Shazi boop under his belly and they gave him some pan yesterday. That's what he got, pan. And that's not Spanish for bread. Hi, Norbert. The SLP are now using the strategy of celebrating the old members of the UWP. Yeah. That is how far they will go after vomiting on them in the past, after criticizing them in the past, after denouncing them in the past. Please, please, try to include the names of old ministers and their contribution to the country during programming. I love my party, we will win. Do not, when you say do not read things out, you got to put it at the top, not at the bottom. Okay? Good morning, Norbert. Can you find out for me, please, why the elderly people who normally get their monthly allowance from the town hall have not been paid yet for me? I don't know. Why don't you call the mayor? And nobody seems to know why. I would like to know. Well, I know the mayor listens to the show, so maybe you can call to say something about that, or whoever's responsible for that. I don't know exactly who is responsible for those payments. Well, maybe the mayor or the CEO of the CCC, the Castries Constituency Council, can call or send me a message. Morning, Nobs. Ignore these empty vessels. All they can make is noise. I ain't gonna call the names of these jokers. Good morning to you, Professor Norbert. Oh, I've been given a new position, new post. I would like to ask you this question because I believe you'd know the answer better than I would. When a police officer has done something wrong, he or she will be placed on leave whilst on investigation. Excuse me, whilst an investigation is being carried out. Also, when and if a customs officer is found to have done something wrong, he or she will be suspended whilst the investigation is being conducted. So my question to you is, why is it when a parliamentary representative is being investigated for wrongdoing that this person isn't put on leave? Neither is this person suspended while the investigation is being carried out. So, why is it that Ernest Hille is still in and out of Parliament? Well, caller, that's an interesting question. I think you need to take that even more so to the party level. And this is something that I have spoken about for the longest while. And particularly, I bring up each time Eubaldus Raymond. Eubaldus Raymond was never arrested. He was never charged for any offense. Nothing of the sort. Yet, the opposition called over and over for him to be fired or to resign. Yet still, there are persons in their midst who are before the courts and they make no such call or demand that the individual, and in this case that's Ernest Hille, that he step down at the very least until the conclusion of that case against him in court. Peculiar, isn't it? Interesting, isn't it? Time will tell. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. You ain't ready yet. No phone calls on the WhatsApp number. You have to call either via WhatsApp or you send a message via WhatsApp. If you want to call, you call the studio number at 456-0931. 456-0931. So I'll go back to the messages. Moi just do ça encore. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. How are you? Give Miss Louina from Lombard, Monrepo. Give her a shout out, I guess. I have not heard her calling the radio station. Hope she is okay. Lucita from Brooklyn. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hi, Norbert. Morning.
Morning, sir. How are you?
A caller called earlier on, the young lady, and she was pointing it out that what Kenny did for the country and what Alva and them did for the country. Let me just answer.
You mean for the constituencies? For the constituencies.
For the constituency, sorry.
You know, caller, that's a very interesting question. You know, people talk about Castries East. You look at it singularly. But when you ask yourself that same question for all of those on the opposition, the answer is very shocking.
Yep. It is shocking, but it is the truth. Because when you have a man running a whole party and running a whole country, and he has a constituency, and in that state,
he's at pains to
you have to wonder
something.
What was going on.
Hey. My gosh.
What did he do exactly? Anyway, I just wanted to answer that.
Yeah, thank you very much, caller.
Absolutely nothing.
Thank you very much, caller. Thanks for keeping it real. And it's raining today, folks, and it's going to be raining for the entire day if you look at the satellite photo. And for those of you who may be watching on TV, on GVD TV, or you're watching on social media, if you see the satellite photo, and I'll just put it there for you to see what it looks like. Look at St. Lucia and look at what's coming. So that's going to be over us for the entire day today. So take the necessary precautions. If you have animals in low-lying areas, you may want to get them out now. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning, you're on the air. Good morning. Morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Don't worry about them. America watching both Kenny and Frederick.
Well, America watches
Mr. Norbert.
everybody. America
Good morning.
watches
How are
everybody.
you?
I'm good, thank you.
America is watching Kenny and Frederick. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's what they're watching me on YouTube.
They're watching Kenny and Frederick. So let them do what they want. America watching them.
Thank you very much, Colin. Thank you for keeping it real. You know, it's very interesting, the statement that was just made there. Because you left to wonder, what would be the reaction of the U.S.? I'm just putting that out there for you. You fill in the blanks and ask yourself a question. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Labour Party need Operation Therapy.
In Denry North. Okay, Operation Therapy. That's Ferropolius that person is alluding to. So I want to talk about the Daha Mall, folks, again. And I want to get it from the angle of a loan. And the argument that's being made by the SLPs, oh, if you have your house, you're going to, some kind of foolishness, you're going to sell it to somebody and all kind of, some kind of argument that I was like, what? No, what? The Daha Mall was purchased, okay? The ultimate agreement, I had heard Ernest Hilaire last night. You know, when people, when they come in and talk, they must listen to what you say. They must listen to what you say. And I did mention on my show on Tuesday night what the plan was initially to purchase the mall for $30 million and spend $50 million to refurbish it. That got changed. I said so. Go back to the video and check it out, Ernest. And then it became an agreement that the developer would purchase the building for $14 million. But let me explain here, and Ernest Hilaire understands it very well. I would hate to believe that you would have a that you would have a doctorate, that you would have been St. Lucia's High Commissioner, that you would have been in charge of cricket, West Indies cricket, and not understand that concept. Because you went on the market steps when, remember when you had the kid, come for it! And you were talking about Guy Mayers, and you said, I've worked all over the world. Unlike Philip J. Pierre, who said that he never gone anywhere. He never lived anywhere outside of St. Lucia for any extended period of time. So if Philip J. Pierre is saying that he's a true St. Lucian and he hasn't gone anywhere, I would suppose you're not, Ernest Hilaire, as much St. Lucian as Philip J. Pierre, because you lived outside of St. Lucia longer than him. You were outside. You were a man of the world. Isn't that what you were touting on the market steps when you challenged the authorities? Come for it! Remember that episode? So I would expect that you would understand how loans work. I don't know, but I would suppose that you've taken a loan from the bank or gone into some financing deal, whether it's for yourself, whether it was for an entity, whatever. Folks, when you go to the bank, and I'm sure many of you listening out there, or those of you watching, when you go to the bank, you must have a source of, if you want to say, income, a means of repaying. That could be, in the case of an individual, you must have a salary, an income. And the bank, based on their policies, based on their guidelines, based on how they structure loans, they will evaluate whether you have the capacity or the capability or the ability to repay your loan. So if you're making, let's just say, $1,000 a month, and you want a loan for $100,000, and your expenses are X and everything, and you want that loan, let's just say again, hypothetical situation, for 5 years. Even if you put all your money that you make, every cent that you earn, into paying off that loan, you can't pay the loan in 5 years. The bank will not give you the loan. Because the bank doesn't want you, number one, to be in a position of hardship where you cannot pay your loan because you have other expenses. And the bank doesn't want to be stuck with your property. So, you must have an income. If you're a business and you go to the bank for a loan, a business loan, the bank has to look at, or would want to look at, your cash flow. The bank would want to look at what type of business you're engaged in. The bank would want to look at what your record of earnings has been, to decide whether you're able to repay the loan that you want to get from them. If you remember last elections, a number of projects, a number of contracts were given by the SLP administration. And even with this government or other governments, there is the facility where, what's it called? Design, construct, build, or design, finance, build, whatever. Where you, the contractor or the developer, would finance a government project, NIPRO. And then to get your money back, because a police station is not yours as a developer, to get your money back, what you would do, because government doesn't have the money up front to pay for it, you as the contractor will get a loan from the bank or a lending institution, build it, and then to pay back the loan now, the government would rent the premises to you. This is what's happening with the Daha Mall. So before the last election, or what government does, is you design, you finance and construct whatever, if they want to do whatever. Let's say they want to build a school. Government sees the need for a school in Timbuktu, but the government doesn't have the money to build a school right now. But it's critical, it's important. They can see the benefit to the school being there. So the government goes to Joe Blow and say, listen, we want to build this school there. We'll give you the contract. You get the financing and everything. But how does the contractor convince the bank that they can repay? Because the government will sign a contract, a lease arrangement, a lease agreement for 10 years, whatever. And they will take that to the bank, and the bank can say, well, yeah, it's just like if you have a contract with government or a company. They can see, well, you assign your salary to come here, and we make the deductions of it. That's the same thing with Daha Mall. Oh, why are you going to sell it to the developer and then go and rent it? You think Ernest Hilaire does not understand that? You think he don't understand that? And if he doesn't understand it, he should bow out of the race. Because it's a basic concept in government, in financing, in building, in designing for government. This is a basic concept. And if you have a doctorate, especially in politics or whatever you have, if you have a doctorate, then you should understand that. Because in his thesis, in Ernest Hilaire's thesis, Shaping State Societal Relations, it deals with the whole gamut of politics and everything else. And having been in government, having been a permanent secretary, yes, folks, Ernest Hilaire was a permanent secretary. He should understand very well how government contracts are given. He should understand very well how government works with property, with buying things in the name of government, putting things in the name of the government, and how you dispose of government property. You're all making me go deep there this morning. Didn't want to get into that. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Norbert.
Morning, sir.
Isn't that's a close similarity to what they had the deal with the airport for the 30 years?
Where's Membaila?
Huh?
In essence, kind of.
Okay.
The principle is the same?
Because just deal is much better, but the similarity I'm talking about.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand
Yeah.
that. Well, you see, all you have to do is that's why they don't want you to talk about the past. They don't want you to go back. Nothing, because it reveals everything for you, caller.
Everything, all the secrets, something, yeah.
Thank you very much, caller.
All right.
Thanks for keeping it real. So that's what happens. The police stations that were built under Kenny Anthony, or the fire stations, like the one down there in Mico, how was it built? It's government property, but the contractor took a loan for it. How could he go and take a loan to finance? How did he finance it? Let's be more accurate. How did he finance it? Because he got a document from government, a contractor sealed, signed, saying, yes, we will lease it from him. That's what the government is doing with the Daha Mall redevelopment. Why keep it there sitting down for years? Because you cannot afford to do anything with it. Honest, you think you don't understand that? You think you don't understand it? To come up there. I mean, I watch this thing there. My gosh, nice shirt, by the way. I'm like, Ernest Hilaire understands this. This is not beyond his understanding. Why would you do that? So the government figured, you know what? This mall has been sitting there. We don't have all the money up front to do anything with this. Let us sell it and get something out of it. So what's the benefit to St. Lucia? The mall is worth more than $14 million. But the developer will purchase the bottom floor. Pay for that. That's your because you do know, folks, in St. Lucia now, the law is that you don't have to have a contiguous or one building as yours. You can now own floors. So a building can have multiple owners, and they're not shares, but multiple owners, because you own different floors. So I can own the top floor, and you can own the bottom floor, and you can have a block and parcel number for that floor. Yes, folks, the law has changed in St. Lucia. Ask who changed the law to allow that to happen. Just a little homework for you all. Just a little homework. Who entered the legislation onto our law books to make that possible? So don't tell me about you sell and you go in and rent. So what? Big deal. Let's move on with the times. So commercial space. You also have the NIC that rents space at $4 a square foot to the government. $4 per square foot a month. So if you have a place that's 10 square feet, you pay $40. If it's 100 square feet, you pay $400. If it's 1,000 square feet, you pay $4,000 a month. That's how you calculate how much the space that you want to rent commercially is worth. Commercially, not the NIC, but commercially on the market in St. Lucia, office space, commercial space, is rented at $550 a square foot. The developer now, who's purchased the bottom floor, say Sali, $14 million. What they claim is a broken down, run down. Okay, so good, we're getting rid of it. We're getting something out of it. That now, $14 million, and the developer will take a loan or finance $50 million to remodel, to renovate, to redevelop the Daha Mall. How is he going to get financing? Well, just as you, when you go to the bank with your job letter or your contract, or as a contractor with government, you say, well, government will allow me to build a pavilion at Masha, or to build 2 miles of road, and they're going to pay me $10 million. And you go to the bank and you say, I want a loan for $5 million or $10 million, whatever. The bank would say, okay, well, we see some job security. Government of St. Lucia will pay. Yes, government of St. Lucia always pays its bills. So that's a commitment. So we'll give you the loan. So the developer goes, gets the loan, gets the financing, and redevelops the mall. The government of St. Lucia then, because he got the loan, you go rent it from him. What's wrong with that? This happens all the time. This is not anything unusual. It happened under the SLP administration. You hear anybody have any problem with that? The police stations that they built all over the place, how you think it was done? Government didn't build them. An entity got financing for it. It's called design, build, finance, or design, finance, construct, whatever. It means that the contractor finances it, and then you lease it from them for a certain period of time to repay them. That's what's happening with Daha, Honest Ile, Dang Namit. Dele adan se bouk sa ka jwe kom si di yo dek, kom si di yo pa akopan an yen, kom si di yo ignorant, kom si di yo se ban bouk gwen. And all the technical stuff you want to talk about and all of that is irrelevant. So, because in essence, you're suggesting the developer in Coco Macacri, Ipa Akopan Sai Cafe, the government in Coco Macacri, the Attorney General's office in Coco Macacri, everybody, because it's not one person that's doing that. You say in the cabinet in Coco Macacri, but I still want to know about Jufali. I am not convinced. What was the benefit to St. Lucia of Jufali? What? So the Daha Mall is much ado about nothing. Election ka vini, hold da zot ka gwate zot. That's what it is. The police stations and fire stations that the SLP built around St. Lucia during the last term of government. Tell me how it was paid for. Wasn't it the contractor or the developer that built it? And then now the government is leasing that space, paying them rent for a period of time until it becomes theirs? Isn't that their rent? Esa pase membaila Daha Mall? And then, after the government will be leasing that space at $4, the developer will rent it to government at $4 a square foot. Yeah. NIC rents at $3 a square foot. Let me get it right before Ernest mentions my name. Commercially, space is rented at $5 a square foot. The developer will be renting the 2 floors for government at $4 a square foot, below market value. Right? And guess what? The offices that government has, renting commercially, what can they do? What can they do? Move those offices over there. So instead of paying $5 or $5.50 a square foot, government can move all of those offices to the mall there and pay rent at $4 a square foot. Isn't that a savings right away of $1, $1.50? And based on my calculations, which means that every year, the government will be saving by moving those places to the Daha Mall, every year, $1.6 million in rent. That can't do something for somebody. It can't fix a road somewhere. It can't buy medicine in the hospital. It cannot do something, provide some service. Huh? It can't do something about getting tablets for students. Huh? And over the course of the lease period of 12 years, I believe, 12 years, whatever the period is, whether it's 10 years, 12, 16, 20, 30, I'm just using that as an argument here. Whatever it is will be multiplied by $1.6 million in savings per year. So if it is the 12 years that have been informed, then it means 12 by 1.6 million. So in essence, about $18 million savings. $18 to $20 million. That's not a savings. That's not to the benefit of the people of St. Lucia. And he was arguing last night that there was a clause 2.1 that says until the developer pays off the loan. But how you come to the conclusion that he will not? And how will that be of detriment to St. Lucia? And then he talks about, well, because he want to pile on things. Well, and even whilst you're renting your own property, it's not your property again. It's not your property until you pay it off. According to the contract. Well, you have to pay maintenance fee of 10% of this, that, and management. But of course you have to pay maintenance fee. And even after they own it, they still have to pay maintenance fee. Yes! Don't tell me you don't understand that. You understand it well. And if you don't understand it, you don't deserve to go up for government to run a seat. If you cannot understand that basic principle, folks, whether you have it as a payment to somebody else or you pay it out of your pocket because you own it outright, you still pay maintenance. If the government owned Daha Mall without the developer, nobody, and they fixed it up and it had offices and everything, government still has to pay maintenance. What's the maintenance? If a pipe bursts, you have to pay for it. Landscaping, you have to pay for it. If there's a pothole in the parking lot, you have to pay for it. If the roof leaking, you have to pay for it. Janitor services, mop the floors, clean the place, throw out the trash, you have to pay for it. Garbage pickup, you have to pay for it. That's maintenance. So whether you do it on your own building or whether you have an entity that you pay to do the maintenance for you, who still need to pay maintenance, dang damn it. It may be called something else if you own it outright, but you still have to pay for those services. Gosh, man. You think you don't understand that, Ernest? You understand it damn well. Stop insulting people's intelligence by playing like you don't understand. Well, we have to pay maintenance, and even if you own it, you're still going to have to pay it anyway. And a lot of people want to outsource this. They don't even want to have the problem. They outsource. You get a maintenance company that handles all of that for you. Don't tell me you don't know that. When you were the St. Lucia High Commissioner in London, did you have St. Lucians clean it there, or did you contract it out to a company in London? When you were at Cricket World Cup or St. Lucia West Indies cricket, is that a foreign concept to you? You were a permanent secretary at one time. Yes, you were. You never came across that arrangement? You don't know you don't understand what maintenance is? C'est mon là. Est-ce que un bon matin la pluie ça a tombé là, folks? So I'm looking out the Sky FM weather window. It's raining. Just to remind you, it's going to be raining all day, every day today, all day. Folks, that situation about the Daha Mall is much ado about nothing, absolutely nada. The same way they want to try things and leave off little bits of it and all of that to try to confuse you. Election ka vini, so you can try save whereby point by malmene sevelo. That's what's going on. Much ado about nothing. And talking about last night, I listened to him. Oh, you mean to tell me that during construction, the government has signed a lease during construction, even if they're not paying? So what's the big deal? That they will lease the place, but there will be a moratorium whilst the construction is going on and for a 6-month period. So 18 months before the government starts paying. But that's for the purpose of the developer getting, in my limited thinking, tell me if I'm wrong, to facilitate the developer getting the financing so that the government commits. Because you say, oh, well, they have a moratorium. But that is all in the negotiation. And it means simply that you ain't paying. So whether you start it then or you put it now that you have 18 months before you start paying, it works out to be the same thing. It's the same principle. It's just like Matty way and Matty win. That's all. Come on, man. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Oh, good morning. Am I live?
You are on the air.
Yes, yeah. Good morning. Okay. I just want to congratulate you for the good job you're doing.
Thank you very
usually
much.
come across with your message in a very articulate manner.
Thank you very much.
I want to just let Mr. Spider, last night he was on, you know, very informative, very inspiring, everything. I want Spider to be very mindful and if he can have the time to be a bit more watchful over that ministry of equity. Whatever excuse it is they're handing out to him and explaining that the elderly people have not been receiving the monthly subvention from the government is due to some error that was made and that they paid the new people on the list first. Because I know of new people on the list who have been walking up and down and they've got nothing. So I don't know of any new people on any list getting. Nobody got and nobody got. And people have been waiting and pending. And Mr. Huntut said that they assured him that this week they were paying out. I just want it to be registered to all the nation that none of these people have received anything this week. Okay, so I know this information firsthand because like Bob Marley said, who feels it knows it.
Yeah.
So I know people who are in this situation. So
You know
Mr.
some-
Montu,
you know
don't
some
allow
people.
your work
You-
to be derailed by workers who are reckless at their duties. They are not very diligent about executing their duties, and they will cause the government to be undermined. And next thing you hear Yadi, oh, you and you hear them running their mouths and using these things. So at this late hour before the bell goes, let us, you know, be a more watchful, a bit more supervising of what's to be done by whom it should be done. Because they're lacking in diligence, they are reckless. They know that the elderly people will be complaining and saying, oh, you hungry. But they are hoping to use that to an end. I've heard another caller say that about a month ago, and she's right. So please, ministers, your various ministries, equity, all of them, be a bit more watchful. I know Mr. Guy Joseph is on the button with his ministry, but the other, be a bit more watchful so that these workers, in the lack of diligence, in their indolent attitude, do not seek to undermine the government's efforts. And I know you, Mr. Norbert Williams, you are a man understanding of that kind of thing. You know that kind of subversive or sabotage work can happen. So on the alert, UWB.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yes,
Thank
have
you
a
for
blessed
keeping it
day,
real.
yes.
You too. Thank you very much. So back to that Daha Mall thing, folks. People will try to malmene or sevel. There's nothing untoward, there's nothing underhand about the Daha Mall arrangement. It is just a number of people who are hell-bent on twisting and making you believe that there's something strange going on there. Nothing strange. Remember the people who had contracts, verbal contracts before the last elections? Or the people who had to go to the bank? Remember that whole big brouhaha after the elections? The people who had to have contracts and they said they were going to get it to go to the... Kalte Roro, massive. Palibay guy, massive. There was a whole Roro about that. But it's simple. The government signed the lease effective 18 months down the road. Well, they would start paying 18 months down the road when the mall is completed. But it started now, and then the developer now, so that you don't pay, will give you a moratorium in the lease for 18 months. Works out to be the same thing. But that facilitates the developer getting financing. That's all. More than one way to skin a cat. It's just like an employer giving me a contract, saying, I give you a contract to do XYZ job, or they give you a contract, whoever. But the job is going to start in 1 year. But you all agree on a moratorium that you don't start work and you don't start getting paid until a year later. But I can go to the bank with that and say, hey, look, I got a job, a contract. Pay me. Or I want a loan. You think these guys don't understand that? You think they don't understand that? They understand. What I explained there to you folks, you have difficulty in understanding that? There are so many examples. The former SLP administration did it. I don't think we own the police stations that were built under the SLP yet, until we finish the lease arrangement. And the lease arrangement was all with the intention of getting the financing. And now you have to pay your lease until the period of time that you agreed upon would pay off the loan, pay off the loan that the developer had to take. For whatever amount. So if you had the land, you give the land is yours. The building costs $3 million. You pay rent until you decide, well, okay, it's $3 million plus interest and expenses, whatever. And that's what I'll pay for the next 10 years. Ah, my gosh, man. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Hey,
Good
you got
morning.
the bell. Good morning. Yes, sir.
What I call you for, I congratulate the government and you all on behalf of the Daya building.
Mm-hmm.
I very appreciate that. Because I was a one-time Labour Party, I changed and I come back, I arbitrate. For these fellows are ready yet. That's what I call you to tell you this morning.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Folks, the Daha Mall was sitting there for years. The former administration, SLP, did nothing with it. It's sitting there, nada. Not of value to anybody. Why not do something with it? And in the process, what's happening? What's happening? You're creating employment in these COVID times? Employment for at least a year? How many people are going to be employed there? It's not 2, it's not 5, it's not 10. All kinds of people. Demolition companies, garbage haulers, truckers, electricians, carpenters, masons. Isn't that money that's going to be injected into the economy? $50 million. And when it's finished, isn't there going to be a savings for government in office space rent? And whatever other space is available, can the government turn around and lease it to call centers, to other things, creating more employment in St. Lucia? Man, honestly, man, let me get out of here. I done with that today. I done with it. I'm tired of this foolishness, man, in St. Lucia. My last Betis Salah. I'll take this last WhatsApp call, and that'll be it for today. My last say Papi Show Salah, man. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Morning, Norbert. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
I agree with the lady that called pertaining to the elderly that haven't gotten their money.
Yeah.
There are times they have a lot of sabotage and to let the government look bad. Then sometimes you find people don't do as they should, as fast as they should.
Don't I know that? I said, don't
I
know
so
that?
Sometimes if it takes the minister, whoever,
to get involved,
he has to go and sit and to see that the thing is done. Because all of these complain not good, and she's so right, okay? So, you know, they'll do all they can
Caller,
to
just
discredit the government, okay?
About 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, some people bombed me when I talked about people who were not doing their jobs, that there was medicine available and they didn't procure it, they didn't get it. People were bombing me, certain people. I ain't making up things. Okay? Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah, you're right. That is why sometimes, okay, Kenny Anthony, he does that. When you see you win an election, he move out the people who are there and put in his people to get his.
Oh, don't we well know that with the SLP?
Yes, so sometimes that's necessary too, is to shift people around, especially if you know they are a party act. Shift them around, move them from certain things. Not fire them, move them from certain things and put one's own people.
Caller, you know what the SLP used to do?
Their policy.
You know what the SLP used to do? There was this thing that was referred to as Siberia. You know where Siberia is? In Russia. And that is where they put the prisoners. That when you're there, you can't escape because it's ice, it's snow. You ain't going nowhere. It's there you staying. Nothing happening with you.
Yeah.
In the government service, it was referred to as Siberia, where they put people they perceive to be not in support of them in an office in a corner, not doing nothing, to frustrate you. Okay?
Yes.
And at a convention of the SLP.
I've seen it happen in Vieux-Fort.
Yeah.
There was a man that they tried to frustrate, but the man, he decided not moving. He's a UWP, not moving. That's 2011 to 16.
Caller,
He just
there was a
down
meeting,
the road.
there was a convention where it was agreed in Babono by the Millibugs. And it was referred to as affirmative action, a resolution. Affirmative action that nobody who was even suspected of being UWP would get a job. Okay, none.
Wow.
In fact, I have information that when anybody went to see a particular person in government, you figure out who you want. Somebody way on top. The first thing they would ask before they even saw the person, is he one of ours? Okay? When you're supposed to be working for all the people. Have a good day, caller.
Right.
Okay? Thank you very much.
That's not good governance. That's bad governance.
Is he one of ours?
And
They bansayo ye.
making a mess with the country.
These people want to come.
Okay,
Thank you very
Norbert,
much.
have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
Thank you. You know, when I think of them things, man, these people have no shame. Y'all have no shame. Morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, morning.
Morning,
First
sir.
time calling your show.
Oh, thank you so much.
It looked like them fellas afraid of Guy.
Which fellas?
The Labour Party afraid of Guy.
Why?
But you toujours lately. And look, they just bring up a paper saying that the man do this, the man do that.
Well, caller, time will reveal. all things. Okay? Time will reveal all. Bon.
All right, we will see about that.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. I want to play something for you there. St. Lucia's Consul General in Martinique had to respond, finally, to allegations and nonsense by a Hakalak, well-known, who was in Martinique at the time, doing what? I can't tell you. But constantly, on numerous shows, says he's the best, nobody can be better than him. And he should be there in Martinique. Right? And somebody said it's also called a bolt arrangement. Lots of different things. Right? Yeah. Somebody sent me a message and said that caller with regard to the payments to the elderly was actually dealt with by Spider last night on Vibes with Nancy Charles. But nevertheless, the point still stands about how people don't do their jobs and make you look bad. I'll take this call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, good morning, Norbert.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Norbert.
Morning, sir. How are you doing? And just 1 second, somebody said to me when I spoke about the Wavet thing, they said, Wavet pani pardon devant poule. That's what I was trying to remember. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, Norbert. What I want to say is this, Robert. We cannot really trust the SLP. You know. The SLP is making noise with funds all about the place, blah, 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 blah. Call election, call election, call election. I think that's a sign of, I don't get the word yet, but what I would say is this. It seems as though they want to put pressure on the government to call the election, call the election, call the election. So by doing so, the government will delay the election a little more, based on the constitution program of the electorate. And at the same time, they are happy because the government has not called the election, because they don't have a full slate of candidates as yet. They don't have Cassis North. They don't have nobody yet for Cassis North. Cassis Central in limbo, but they're still pressuring the government to call the election when they are not ready. And if the government have to call the election now, they're going to get themselves caught with the pants down. So what's the haste in calling the election when you are not ready? This morning I was watching a program on the TV, and they show a full slate of the constitution in regards to election, and that was so clear. After the first day in which is July the 12th, and then the government have the authority to call the elections 3 months after that. That was so plain and clear on the TV. The host was showing that program, and they don't have nothing wrong in how Alan Chaste is handling the election process. There's nothing wrong in that because the constitution
The constitution is very clear. If you want to call elections early when you were there, that's your problem.
I don't know, but there's nothing wrong in that, because the 12th of July will be the date they started
the 5th anniversary of the first parliament.
And from there, the
90 days.
The cabinet will be dissolved.
Dissolved, that's right.
And it gives the government the authority to call elections 3 months after that.
Yes.
So what is the problem there?
Now, people who want to dictate.
What is
Anyway,
the
I gotta
problem
go, caller. Thank you so much. I gotta go. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for calling. And I want you to listen to this, folks, because, you know, St. Lucia's Consul General in Martinique called Timothy Polion yesterday, and St. Lucia's Consul General was forced finally after much attack, to defend herself against a malcontent, somebody who has political gopwell, who has chagrin pouvoir, who believes that nobody else can do it if it's not him. Let's hear St. Lucia's Consul General yesterday when she called in to Timothy Pollion's Newspin.
All right, we have a call. Good afternoon, Newspin. You are on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim. How are you?
I am okay, ma'am. How about you?
Hi, I'm fine. This is Miss Salton, Joanna Salton, from the consulate in Martinique. I'm the Consul General.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I don't normally call talk shows because, to be quite honest with you, we're very, very busy over here. But when it is an attack on my integrity and my professionalism, I think I need to respond. Now, Shazzy has been calling your show several times, making several allegations. And I would say allegations because I don't think Shazzy really knows what he's talking about. I think before you make any comment, you should probably get the full story first. I am here in Martinique, according to him, doing nothing. Shazzy, I don't know if you are aware, but there was a program for independence where all the diplomats had to more or less showcase their work over the past 4 years, which is what we did. Maybe you didn't see it. I'm not one to really say what I'm doing because I believe that someone's work should speak for themselves and other people should speak for them. So I will let my work speak for myself because in reading the comments over the past couple of days, I've realized that you're the only one with a negative comment. So that said something. But for those of the listeners out there who probably are leaning towards Shazzy, who probably would not know, I would just like to say that there are several projects that we, and I would say we, I would not say me because I believe a consulate should work as a team. I'm just one individual, I head a team, that we have implemented and things that we have achieved. For instance, the diaspora in French Guiana, they were very much neglected, okay? I don't know what Shazzy was doing over the past 4 years or the 4 years he was there, but when we visited the diaspora in French Guiana, given the distance and the location, it's true they're very far and they needed to be attended to. We went over there, set up an office, organized many, many people who needed passports, papers. There was even an 84-year-old lady who finally got a passport, okay? We also donated equipment. We donated echograph machines to Victoria Hospital. We donated over 1,000 pair of eyeglasses to the Blind Welfare Association to distribute to people who cannot afford to buy glasses. We delivered cardiac monitors, 80 medical beds to both hospitals, over 1,000 masks during COVID, 550 camp beds. Okay? We did a twinning, 10 schools on the St. Lucian side, 10 schools on the French side, from the tertiary from the primary to the tertiary level. That took place in 2019. And thanks to this twinning, a lot of the exchanges now between the schools are a lot more organized. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to stop the exchanges. Right now, we're working on so many different projects. We had twinnings of towns, which was supposed to happen this year. Fort-de-France and Martinique, Fort-de-France and Castries was one. As far as French Guiana was supposed to twin Wish-Roselle. Okay? So we had a lot of projects in the works, and unfortunately, because of COVID, we could not execute them. Recently, we organized an investment forum for both business people in Martinique and St. Lucia so that they can exchange. We had speakers from Export St. Lucia, Ministry of Economic Development, the CEP, okay, CEP program. And that created a lot of interest. That happened about a month ago. So we are working here. We don't just talk about what we do. Unlike Shazzy, we don't have papers in files, projects that are probably in files and saying, well, you know, we were not able to execute them because of this minister or that minister. We have stuff to show for what we do. We don't just talk. We walk the walk as well. Okay? So maybe Shazzy needs to be a little more informed as to what is going on. And I will say this to all the listeners. I don't care if it's red or yellow or blue or green. We are working for the people of St. Lucia. During COVID, even the diaspora, a lot of St. Lucians have been left destitute. They can't travel. And we work with many associations to help them. A lot of St. Lucians are being helped on the territory through associations, through different associations, Lions Club, etc. And all of that is through negotiations on our part. The same ferry that's taking Shazzy up and down between St. Lucia and Martinique, he has a French passport, so for him the borders are open. The French borders are closed to St. Lucians. St. Lucians can't come into Martinique right now with a St. Lucian passport. And thanks to us, thanks to the consulate, we're able to negotiate so that St. Lucians can come up, see their doctor, have medical treatment. We've saved lives. Okay? We don't talk about what we do. Right now we're negotiating getting school supplies for those children who are going into school in September. That's what we are needing. That's what I'm working on right now. I don't have time to listen to talk shows and respond to Shazzy. I'm doing this now, and this is the first and last time because I think I need to clarify the air and put things straight. That's what I need to do.
Let me ask
you.
And
one more thing.
Go ahead, please.
Shazzy probably. Yes, Tim.
Yeah, continue.
One more thing. Nancy made a comment a couple of days ago, and I will back it up because I took the office in 2017. Mr. Shazzy Shalom came to see me, sat down in my office. You know I want to come back here. Stupid me like I am, I'm thinking, because everybody knows me, I think most people know who I am. You know, I'm like, come back here, what you mean that you're in Martinique? No, I mean here, in the consulate, here. I'm like, really? He says, well, I went to the Prime Minister and I spoke to Mr. Tai Joseph, so if they come to you, please put in a good word for me. That was the extent of the conversation. I was like, really? Okay. Nobody called me. But I'll be honest with you, even if they had, I would have said no. Because I can't work with Shazzy. I wouldn't be able to work with Shazzy. That's for sure. And let me tell you, Shazzy, I'm going to be here until my term is up, whenever that is. You have to wait. Wait your turn. Okay? Wait your turn. I may not agree with you, but you have the right to speak. Freedom of speech. I'll defend to my death your right to talk. But when you speak, make sure you know what you're talking about. That's my best advice to you. Okay? That's my best advice to you, Shazzy. And Tim, that's all I have to say, to be quite honest.
Yeah, but what one final question. What do you think is his motivation then?
Maybe Shazzy wants to come back to Martinique for whatever reason. I really can't tell you what his motivation is. But what I can say is that when I took this office, it was a mess. Not even a filing cabinet. There was nothing. I didn't know what Shazzy was working on. There were no papers, no documents, nothing. Maybe it was being selfish. I really don't know what the motive was. But I started in this position from ground zero. I had to make my own contacts. I had to start. In fact, everything was done. Even the office was upside down. The office itself was upside down. You walk in here now, it's a totally different office. Everybody says so. Like I say, people, you all know me. Everybody knows me. I don't talk. I walk the walk. And even my business in St. Lucia speaks for itself. I'm a very results-oriented person, and when I put my mind to something, I get it done. That's the type of person I am. And I've carried the same work ethic here. You walk into the office now, people walk in. Oh, my God, that's a different office. Is this really the consulate? It is. It is. And Shazzy might not want to admit it, but I'm sure because he comes here sometimes, he comes to the same office to get his business done. And I'm sure he can see for himself. It's not the same. It's a professional work environment, as it should be, and it's not what he left. So his motivation might be, I don't know what it is. And Shazzy is a friend of mine. He's somebody I knew very, very well, come to my house and everything. And, you know, I think I'm more disappointed than anything else where this whole situation is concerned, because I don't think I needed to call a talk show to clear my name. You know, Shazzy knows me very well. He could have spoken to me. And I would have spoken to him. But it came to this, and this is what it is. And, of course, I'm going to defend my name and my honor and put what I have to put out there. There are other things that I can say too, but I prefer not. I think I've said enough.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
And that was St. Lucia's Consul General in Martinique, Joanna Sultan, having to deal with, I ain't even gonna characterize that let me not even go down that trail this morning. Let me not even go down that trail there, because some people try to bring out the wrong side of the bed in you. Well, folks, here we go. Another morning edition of Keeping It Real. Somebody sent me a message that says, if Kenny Anthony is so hell-bent on removing Guy Joseph from office, why doesn't he run against him in the Castries Southeast constituency, where they both live? Why doesn't he muster the balls to run against Guy? Well, yeah, okay, that's about it. I have another message here. Norbert, no Frederick, no SLP is the biggest indictment to slam the SLP, in that one man is portrayed as superior to and can mash up an entire SLP team. It's funny how sometimes reality plays itself out. The Daha Mall eluded the SLP just like DSH and St. Jude Hospital. The opening of OKEU, the redevelopment of Huonora International Airport, the desilting of the dam, and all the road improvement works and new projects. The only thing that the SLP seems to have accomplished successfully is the rejection of St. Lucia by banks and other lending institutions due to financial instability. Well, well, well. Well, that's it this morning, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Coming up at 9 o'clock, the man Champagne with Champagne in the Morning. On a rainy day, it's going to be raining all day today, folks. Don't forget your umbrella and everything else. Make the necessary plans. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
To be honest, I must say that this rep has truly represented her constituency. Of all the representation I've got in Micoud North, I must say that's the one who has really executed what she promised. Gail Rigobert promised schools for better education. She promised new roads. She promised better healthcare facilities. And under her leadership, we got the re-establishment of, like, the renovation of the health center. We also got new roads to the school where it is easier accessible in case of emergencies. We have an entrance and an exit at this time, which I find is very important. Also, the rep has a very keen interest in single parents, and as a single mother, I personally have gained from what she has done to help single parents. For example, she provided MiFi for all children who had no internet, which was very good for me because I had to be putting plan on my phone all the time because I had no internet. So my child could have done her schoolwork and make me proud and be an A+ student. I am staying with Auntie Gail.
As a result, we are going to establish a Grocery Credit Union to incorporate the Fishermen's Cooperative, the farmers, and all and sundry
can benefit from having a credit union agriculture program. Also develop our fishing. Youthing agriculture, as I mentioned earlier, is very important.
I'm going to ensure that we have a home for the elderly.
A daycare for our elderly and ensure that our elderly is well taken care of.
Whoa! Copycat alert.
You serious?
Na 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 na. Let's keep working. Let's keep moving.
Moi, je remercie M. Ezekiel Joseph pour tout ça qu'il a fait en communauté. Côte-là, chimie, community center, de l'eau, tout ça qu'il a fait, je remercie en chai. Even si je ne travaille pas, je vais poser ça. Je remercie un peu pour ça.
We're happy that Mr. Birch will be able to serve us to the extent and serve us very well, which I see to myself that's someone that will be able to work for us.
Mr. Birch, I am wishing you the best of luck in the upcoming election. We love you, we are there with you, we are supporting you. And what can I say? I wish the United Workers' Party all the best in that election.
Thank you, Butch. Thank you, my Prime Minister. We all love you. You have a vision, God give it to you. And you is the best Prime Minister we ever get in St. Lucia. Thank you.
I'm here this morning witnessing a milestone for St. Jude's. This is a new hospital. This is a hospital that's going to take the South for the next 50, 60 years. And that's the ambition that we have for the South. And today we're witnessing putting up of the panels, which is a new technology to adapt to climate change, resistant and more efficiency with our air conditioning system. So I'm so proud for the people in the South to have this world-class hospital here that will be delivered very soon. Let's keep working.
Mr. Montwood has done a lot for his constituency. In terms of education, I feel like Mr. Montwood has done a great job. He has supplied his constituency with supplies to go back to school, notebooks, pens, paper. Also, he gives backpacks to the students of the communities. On that note, I feel Mr. Montwood should be re-elected again.
Let's keep working. Let's keep moving. Let's keep working.
Ojo Labs continues its successful artificial intelligence center operation that was established in 2017. The global pandemic simply forced the company to adopt a new work-from-home model. The company employs over 420 people and is actively seeking additional persons as part of its expansion plans. We've witnessed similar positivity in the business processing operations subsector. Not only were the 550 employees retained by ITEL BPO, but an additional 400 jobs are expected now that the retrofit of the second factory shell is near completion. Even more remarkable, Mr. Speaker, is the plans for a third site that would increase the overall company workforce to 1,200 persons. Between Ojo and ITEL BPO, we are seeing the injection of over $4.5 million in salaries a month in the South. In times of crisis, leadership matters. It's about being decisive, yet adaptable. It's about being able to make quick, hard, but calculated decisions. From the onset of this crisis, Mr. Speaker, this government has taken its leadership role seriously. We took seemingly unpopular decisions to close our borders and institute a state of emergency. We took the decision to open OKEU and convert Victoria Hospital into a respiratory hospital despite the severe financial implications. We were at the forefront of efforts to establish appropriate protocols that would enable our borders to be open and our economic drivers to have life again. Ojo Labs continues its successful artificial intelligence center operation that was established in 2017. The global pandemic simply forced the company to adopt a new work-from-home model. The company employs over 420 people and is actively seeking additional persons as part of its expansion plans. We've witnessed similar positivity in the business processing operations subsector. Not only were the 550 employees retained by ITEL BPO, but an additional 400 jobs are expected now that the retrofit of the second factory shell is near completion. Even more remarkable, Mr. Speaker, is the plans for a third site that would increase the overall company workforce to 1,200 persons. Between Ojo and ITEL BPO, we are seeing the injection of over $4.5 million in salaries a month in the South.
I'm a site technician, so my job entails checking and verifying all the work that happens on site, taking our reports, pictures, and ensuring that everyone is placed in the right areas for work.
I'm Brad Augustine. I'm from Abdellang Miku. I've been working there from since October till now. I came in as a laborer. I'm an apprentice for masonry. You know, the job is kind of good because it's been a long time since I had a job, and you know, Auntie Gail has proven people wrong, and she's given, you know, constituency work to do. So I'm very happy to be working. Yeah, the development of the Miku Smart Block, you know, I find it very interesting because my son is writing common entrance, and he will be given a chance to do much more than I have done, because I've been attending Miku Secondary School. I've attended Miku Secondary School, and also I wanted my son to attend it too because of the technologies that have increased. So I think the Smart Block is a very important and very good opportunity for the young kids around and the young generation.
Yeah, my name is Zane Furnace. Yeah, I work as a laborer here. Yeah, but I do different stuff like, you know, electrician. I take part in different stuff, and yeah, I've been learning. Yeah, although it's been tougher, but I've been learning doing the job. Yeah, and I appreciate the job.
My name is Hans Vitalis, and I'm a consultant on the project of the Miku Secondary School. I work with the company teams, and we are building the Miku Secondary School Smart Block, which started on June 18th of 2020. Presently, we are about 80% completed. We are now waiting for our doors and windows to be installed, while plastering continues at the back of the building. Priming and painting on the first floor has already begun, and basically that's where we are.
It's very interesting that the opposition has attempted to label us as this spendthrift government. And then when you see all these activities taking place, people have fallen into believing that that might be the possibility, that that's really what's happening. So it's interesting to note that the opposition, when they were in government, were increasing the debt of the country by 9% per year. So every year, they added 9 percentage points to the total amount of debt. So in 5 years, they increased the national debt of the country by 45%. Unemployment was at 25%. Okay, very minimal economic growth. The GDP was rebased. Pre being rebased, it was a negative growth rate. Post it being rebased, showed that there was a 3.2% average in growth rate. The government has put in additional money into the St. Lucia Development Bank to help small businesses get off the ground. I'm very excited about this new food park that we're opening up in Gros Islet, and the goal is to replicate that all throughout the island. What we're doing on Sandy Beach in terms of subdividing the land, what we've done in terms of Lafague and also in Beauchamp and in Forestier and in Choc, all of these places, and putting housing developments in place. Where you have now smaller contractors now coming up because we've offered incentives. Any contractor that can get the job to do 5 homes, we allow the building material to come in duty free. And he also gets those incentives. So the bank benefits because the bank is lending money on our higher value place because it's duty free. The homeowner is benefiting because he's getting a much more expensive house cheaper. And the contractor is benefiting because now they have 4 contracts.
If I was Prime Minister,
that now go happen. That will never happen. You will never live to see that happen.
When President Trump lost his son, Joe Biden suspended his campaign.
Hey, that's true.
He suspended his campaign for 2 days when President Trump lost his son.
Oh, you lie! You lie!
I have it on the record. Lost his son.
Robert Trump, President Trump's younger brother, has passed away after an illness.
That's all, folks.
It is with much thanks and effort that we are here today to make this valuable donation to the fishermen of Ancillary. There are some over 30 boat owners in this community, and fishing, no doubt, is a very, very big part of the livelihood of the people of Ancillary. I want to, on behalf of the government of St. Lucia and myself, I want to donate this to the fishermen of Ancillary, and I am very happy, and I hope that you guys will put this into very good use.
On behalf of the Ancillary Fat Fishers, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Dominic Fede for providing us with a timely donation of the ropes we have here.
I want to say thank you to the minister for donating us that rope for the fad, and that's going to bring a little income during the COVID time, and I want to say thanks a lot again.
Guy, if you keep it up, you cannot never lose. He will never lose if you keep on doing what he's doing there to support us, because we will always support him.
I appreciate what the minister doing. It's a good thing. See the work you put in on there, I appreciate that. I like that. That's nice.
Women people. Talking. I'm going on. Where? Yeah, back to work. Go to work, yeah.
So where you have
Don't mind them, they can't take down our guys.
So that man pass Mr. Guy straight.
Yeah. Where am I going to do that?
Which guy? What guy? That guy? Mr. Guy? Hey, Georgia. You cannot do that. We already asked him to do it for us and Guy that give it to us. All of us eating our bread thanks to Mr. Guy. Joachim coming in and scandalize us.
So we today coming there.
I asked that man in front of everybody down there if he couldn't get that little job. The same little job he say Guy giving us. If he couldn't get it for us, he tell me that's TFA and you didn't get it for us. You come up here 3 times before Guy. Huh? So TFA you couldn't get it for us. But as Guy give it to us, you have a problem. You want to come and bribe us. It could worth 78 point something million dollars. We don't care. We still accepting the $150 we getting for our day. Thank you to Guy. We're not too big and we're not too tough, but when we work together, we got the right stuff. Go, Mr. Guy, yay!
The government have done excellent. I don't see how they will take out that government from there and put on other governments. What are you going to put there for us? We getting it good. It's already going good for us, and Ms. Fortuna is our representative for our area here. So, to me, she have to bring it home, and we have to support her in bringing it home. I want her to bring it home. It's Flourboy. They have nowhere else to vote again. It's Flourboy you have to vote for it. The whole cast is to say it's Flourboy it easy. It's Flourboy you have to vote for.
On behalf of the community of Olemon Granny Dennery, we would like to say a heartfelt thank you to Senator Ferropoulos for the work that she has commenced in our community. As a result of this, we now have access to quality roads and better drainage. We do appreciate it. We look forward to working with you in the future and wish you the best of luck in the next general election.
Moi, je remercie M. Ezekiel Joseph pour tout ça qu'il a fait en communauté. Côte-là, Chimé, community center, de l'eau, tout ça qu'il a fait, je remercie en Chaï. Il vient de journée à la bonne moyen, je déposer ça. Je remercie un peu pour ça.
On va faire bail.
But if I read somewhere, and I must confess, I'm not a supermarket person. I don't go to the supermarket. I mean, I'll confess to you, I will not tell you I shop in the supermarket. I don't, but I eat and I hear.
Yeah.
As a result, we are going to establish a grocery credit union to incorporate the fishermen's cooperative, the farmers, and all and sundry
can benefit from having a credit union agriculture program. Also develop our fishing. Youthing agriculture, as I mentioned earlier, is very important.
I'm going to ensure that we have a home for the elderly.
A daycare for our elderly and ensure that our elderly is well taken care of.
Uh-oh. Copycat alert.
You serious?
Let's keep working. Let's keep moving.
Having been born and raised in Grizzly, I think Spider knows exactly what his constituents need. It's shown in his demeanor. He works diligently with the constituents. I know that he knows what we need, and he has proven that by the work that he has done. His representation is definitely representation that we can trust, and as we know, there are certain things that he has promised and he has delivered in terms of healthcare, youth development, youth empowerment. Personal example for me as a Corinth resident, the Corinth Road. You would realize that road was really filled with potholes and it was a roller coaster drive. Now I get to save money because I have a carpet to drive on and I don't have to spend money in parts. So I want to thank the minister personally for, repairing the Corinth Road.
Let's keep working. Let's keep moving.
Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We're also live on GBD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 456-0931 or 485-0931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We're also live on